All right. Hello, everybody. I am Elagatua. I'm here with Cohesion and very excited to be presenting this Triforce Blitz showcase. And I know we have a lot of people here probably have no idea what's going on with Triforce Blitz, and we're here to solve all of your unfamiliarity problems and to introduce you to the settings in a fun way. Cannot wait to get started. This has been in the works for a long time, and we have a lot of exciting stuff to announce. Cohesion, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. For people who are wondering who the heck is this guy, it's just Spell, but my name has changed. Speaking of names, I was so confused. Eli, I gotta be honest, I didn't know you pronounce your name like that, so it's good that I heard it.
My name is basically the meme that keeps on giving because everybody who has to pronounce my name will do it a different way, and it's just fun when you put this many vowels in a name. It's good.
Yeah, it's good shit. All right. Well, I mean, this is your mode, so I think you should really take it away and give you all the rundown of what we're about to see.
Absolutely. So I've put together a wonderful slideshow here that's going to give you the basic rundown of what Triforce Blitz is. Triforce Blitz is a totally new mode of Rando that uses the standard rule set. And the objective of Triforce Blitz is to find 3 Triforce pieces that are hidden in the seed. So if you've ever played Triforce Hunt, it's the same kind of idea. But unlike Triforce Hunt, you don't have a ton of Triforce pieces, and you have to find some subset of the pieces. In Triforce Blitz, there's 3 pieces, and you've got to find all 3.
Right.
Now,
go ahead. Yeah, and those pieces can be in any of Hyrule's dungeons. That includes, the off dungeons like I think Ice Cavern and Bond of the Well, for example. It could be in there too, and there can be multiple in one dungeon, right? As well, I think.
Yes. Infamously, there can be multiple pieces in one dungeon. Sometimes we've had 3 pieces in the same dungeon with hilarious effects. And this is very important to remember if you're a player who is starting Triforce Blitz. The Triforce pieces can only be in dungeons. Everybody seems to forget this for their first seed, and they end up looking for Triforce pieces in the overworld. And so I would like to remind you that the Triforce pieces are only in dungeons. Kakariko Village is not a dungeon, so if you are looking for Triforce pieces in Kakariko Village, you are going to be disappointed. Yeah. If you look for Triforce pieces in Ice Cavern, you've got a chance. But if you're looking for them in Gerudo Valley, it's not going to work. So please look for the Triforce pieces in dungeons. You can find stuff in the overworld that might help you go to dungeons to find the Triforce pieces, but you are only going to find them in dungeons. Are we clear?
Right. And next up, I think a more interesting topic, and that's something that might confuse some people at first, is that it's not a required limit, but there's a 2-hour time limit in Triforce Blitz. In races, usually. If you're playing your own seed, of course, you can make it take as long as you want, which is great for learning. But generally speaking, the race ends after 2 hours. And you might be wondering, well, what if people didn't find all the Triforce pieces? Well, what would happen in such a situation?
Yeah, so we have a recommended 2-hour time limit for any sort of competitive Triforce Blitz race. And sometimes in Triforce Blitz, there's going to be locations where the pieces have been placed where you can't get all 3. There could be like 6 required dungeons, and it's just impossible to get them all done in 2 hours, and you're going to run out of time. So in those cases, we're still able to determine a winner. We fall back on a tiebreaker system where the person who found their most recent piece earliest wins, assuming that both players have found the same number of pieces. If one player has 2 pieces and the other player has 1 piece, well, then the player with 2 pieces is going to win. But if they both have 2 pieces, then the faster player to find that second piece is going to win when time expires. So running out of time is not a problem in Triforce Blitz, and it's not like a failure or anything like that. It's part of the core rule set. It's expected that some seeds are going to end up going to the time limit. And actually, if the seed ends up going to the time limit, you're probably having a bad time anyway. And so it's great that we can just end the seed and set you free, especially in a situation where you've skipped that one check in that one place that you hate that happened to have that one item that you needed to finish the seed, you won't have to clear the whole seed looking for it. You're just done after 2 hours.
Right. And speaking of finding the Triforce pieces, you might be wondering, well, if there's 3 of them anywhere in the dungeons, how am I ever going to find them within 2 hours? And for that reason, Triforce Blitz introduces a very important new hint type called Path Count. You'll find them right outside of the Temple of Time, and they will tell you how many items are on the path to each Triforce piece. That does not mean excluding items that are like double accessible. Like for example, there's 2 bomb bags, then that will not be on the path count, even though there might be a bomb bag somewhere. But that's an advanced topic. Let's keep it simple. Why don't you tell us a little bit more about this system, Elagatua?
Yeah, so the path count hints are designed to give all the runners some idea of how crazy the seed is going to be before the runner has to make any sort of major decisions about how to play the seed. So in Triforce Blitz, you're always starting at the Temple of Time. And one of the first things that you're going to do in almost every seed is you're going to walk outside the Temple of Time and check the 4 gossip stones outside there. And the path count hints are plandoed to always appear at the Temple of Time in the order of path, wisdom, courage. So they're always going to be there, and you're always going to have these numbers. And these numbers are the number of path items that are locking the check that has the specific Triforce piece. So the Triforce of power, wisdom, and courage. So these numbers can kind of give you an idea of how difficult these pieces are going to be to find. If you have less than 5 items on a path, then it's probably something pretty sane, and there's a good chance that you're going to be able to get it within 2 hours without too much trouble. Between 5 and 10, I'd say is average. Anything over 10 means that it's possible that the time limit could become a factor. And anything over 15 is like the danger zone, depending on whether there's like logic skips available in the seed, or if you can kind of bypass a lot of the requirements somehow. There's the potential for a piece to be buried so deep behind so many items that you just can't get there in under 2 hours. And actually, strategically, you might want to skip trying to find that piece so that you could find the other pieces quicker to get a better tie break and maybe win the race that way.
Right. A very good summary, I would say. On top of that, on top of these path counts, there's a couple of other hints that are introduced in the seed, some of which are familiar to people, and another one which is new, and we'll talk about that later. Triforce Blitz is very generous with the amount of hints it gives you. There's many that will tell you where items for a certain path are located. For example, you'll be told Path of Courage, you need to go to Kakariko. Almost always, certainly guaranteed, you need to go to Kakariko. Let's be real. Or Graveyard, or Kiri Forest. So already you'll get some clues as to what items are on that path, and that will help you clue in where to look further. Of course, there's also many hints that tell you where not to look, entire areas you can just completely write off. And these, are spread around very liberally, giving you lots of information on where to start looking. So we definitely arm you with a lot of equipment to tackle these seeds in a reasonable amount of time. But there's one hint, which I kind of, alluded at earlier, called the Way of the Wanderer, and I think that's the last slide, right?
Yeah, so that's the last new type of hint. Way of the Wanderer is a replacement for sometimes hints, basically. One of the things that can happen in Triforce Blitz is you can get very, very low path counts. Sometimes you can even get path counts of 0, which means that there's no hard required copies of items that are needed to get a certain Triforce piece. And if all 3 of the Triforce path counts are very low, then you might not have all 10 path counts, because there may not be 10 path items in the whole seed. Mm-hmm. So what Way of the Wanderer does is it gives locations where playthrough items are going to be located. And those are items that the seed's playthrough used, but they're definitely not required, and they may not even be useful. And sometimes they can be a true waste of time, but they're there in case the runner feels like they want more information, and they can choose to kind of wander and find those items, and hopefully that will be helpful to them. Examples where this might be helpful would be if you're looking for 2 of 3 strength upgrades to get into Spirit, or one of 2 hook shots, or maybe one of 3 bomb bags, things like that. But you're also going to see things on Way of the Wanderer like tunics or wallets or slingshots, things like that you're not going to be happy to find, or the second bomb bag when you already have it, things like that. So it's kind of at the runner's discretion for whether to chase those hints or not. And it adds a little bit of strategy there, because some seeds it's going to be good and some seeds it's not going to be good.
Yeah, and I just wanted to quickly harken back to something you just said earlier. Some people are wondering, well, what's the meaning of a 0 path seed, or 0 path, or just a path with 0 items on it? The most easy example I think anyone can understand very quickly is, let's say the Power of Courage, the Triforce of Courage is inside the Dongo's Cavern, and outside of Temple of Time, you get a 0 path hint. That doesn't mean that you don't need the bomb bag. For example, there could be 2 bomb bags accessible in Sphere 0. So the generator really doesn't know which one of these bomb bags should be required, so it just says neither. And that's why the path count will be 0 in that example. Also, we have a fantastic website that someone made. I don't know who.
Yeah, who made that?
Yeah, I have no idea. I'll be linking that in chat. You can find a more detailed, long-winded explanation of the rules there and how to play. Oh, I can't post links. Damn it. Well, there you go. Someone else knows it.
You got bopped.
I got botted. Anyway, yeah, so feel free to check that site out. You can also generate a seed there, even patch your ROM, or download the patch. Spoiler logs included. It's your one-stop shop to playing Triforce Blitz. Is there anything else we have left to cover?
I think we can go to the last image. We're just going to show off the new tracker. So with Triforce Blitz, some things that were important in season 5 or in any of the other kind of previous season races, those items are not necessarily as important as they are in Triforce Blitz, because you don't need to necessarily complete any dungeons to finish a Triforce Blitz seed if you can find all the pieces. So things are kind of transparent here on this layout, but we'll be filling them in. But on the left and right columns, there are places for the Triforce pieces, and then there's a stopwatch icon which will show who has the tiebreaker. And when you're thinking about the tiebreaker, it's very simple. Just think about if the seed were to end now, if we were to hit the time limit, and nobody found any more Triforce pieces, then the person who has the stopwatch icon lit up would be the winner.
Right. And I see we've already transitioned over to the match screen. As you can see, the timer is set to 2 minutes. A bit unusual for a rando seed, but it's a countdown rather than a count up. And our contestants today are Fabio and Fluflush. Two very well-known runners, I would say, in the community. Very skilled runners, I would say, as well. And they're here to give us a fantastic Triforce Blitz exhibition match. I'm very excited. I have been looking forward to this match, I swear, ever since I found out about this, which is, I think, many months ago now, actually. We've built up to this moment for quite a long time, I would say.
Yeah, I've been waiting to properly cast Triforce Blitz for months. It's been months of iteration on the settings, and to have Fabio and Fluflush, who I chose them because they have excellent knowledge of the seed's logic, and I kind of admire the way that they play, and so I'm really excited to kind of see them go head to head in a 1 versus 1. I think this is really the first time that we've had anything like this, and to be able to commentate without having to try and execute everything at the same time is going to be so much easier, because I've been playing so many seeds, and now I can just talk about it and leave the execution to the players. It's great.
Yeah, I'm really excited. Hold on. Right, yeah, light arrows are a complete meme item in this settings. That's correct, Alpha Field. You have no need for them. They're worse than ice arrows. You can't even kill Bongo Bongo with them.
Hello, I'm sorry. I was told I should join by Hell Knight, so.
All right.
Need be, but.
Awesome. Well, welcome in. So I'm just looking at the starting screen here, and it looks like we are starting off with a Prelude and with the Fire Medallion. one last thing, I guess, to point out while we're waiting for the players to ready up. So the Ganon's bridge, or the bridge to Ganon's castle, is locked behind 2 dungeon rewards. And so basically what that means is you just beat 1 dungeon and then you will get the bridge. So Ganon's is not available right away, but it's available very quickly. And we have both of our runners ready, so I think I'm going to force start this thing, and we're going to get this thing underway.
I'm so excited. And if anyone wonders why only one dungeon... Yeah. If anyone wonders why only one dungeon, obviously you start off with one, right? So you only need one more.
Yep. I have been grinding these settings out so much, so I am so excited for this.
I have never played Triforce Blitz, but I've watched a lot of it.
You're missing out, man.
I don't play Rando. That's the well-known meme around me, isn't it?
That is true.
Yeah, and the beginning goes fast because we'll be getting a lot of information very quickly. But we'll figure it out, the 3 of us, I think.
So this is interesting. This is something I always judge: is do I go get my meds or do I go get my steps first?
Yeah, and we haven't split down the middle, one going the other way, so...
I like to get the forest. I marked down the first 3 medallions.
Wisdom 0.
I got 11, 0, and 3, and
Correct.
Domain is on the path to courage.
Yeah.
Oh boy.
Oh boy. Rush DC.
Good
if it's
start.
0, I rush DC. Just rush DC in these settings.
And Domain being path is a weird one. So there's a lot of Baron hints in Blitz, and Domain is something that shows up Baron frequently.
Yes.
So that's often a place that you will end up skipping, but looks like we probably won't be skipping it this seed.
Right next to a Jabu Jabu was foolish. I get that.
Yeah, Jabu Jabu is foolish a lot. So in these settings, dungeon and path, dungeon paths and dungeon barons are prioritized over overworld ones. So if a dungeon is barren, it's always going to get hinted first, and Jabu is very often barren, and Jabu Baron is very often hinted.
Yep.
Yeah, it helps you out a lot when, a location, like dungeons, they're often a big time commitment and you need certain items for them, so it's just good to know when,
and there's Forest Temple beatable.
Yeah, so that some people might wonder, why is it beatable already? In Triforce Blitz, the elevator is always up, and on top of that, we have removed boss keys from the distribution. So bosses are always accessible, and this is particularly interesting for Jabu and for Forest Temple, because the shortcuts to rooms are already open.
You thought Spirit Key Logic was funky. Just wait till you hear about Forest Key Logic.
Yeah, it can get weird in these settings.
Have you ever seen Phantom Ganon as a key?
Yep.
Because you will see it in these settings.
Oh,
and
yeah.
You'll get screwed over by it so many times.
Keys in the basement, too. It's interesting.
Oh, yeah, keys in the basement, too.
For what it's worth, the Forest Temple logic is the only check that has any sort of differences from the Season 5 settings.
Right, yes.
As we get early bomb shoes.
Ooh,
so at least some early logic out the window now. We'll see if our runners end up trying to dip into Dodongo's Cavern with, and more bomb chews.
Generous seed.
Yeah, so Dodongo's Cavern is a very common place if you have a 0 path count. Dodongo's Cavern often is not locked behind any items if there's multiple ways to get bomb bags. And also, it would give access to Ganon's Castle, which is another very common place to find a 0 path count Triforce piece.
Right, and we got Solid Lullaby right away. Very nice.
Yeah, you have 2 dungeons. Well, you don't have a bomb bag, so technically DC is not beatable, but I'm like...
No one's gonna care over that bomb choose.
Yeah, right now you technically have 2 dungeons beatable.
Yeah.
Well, no, actually you don't have Minuet. You can't get to the forest.
Not logically, at least.
It's here's my guess. Okay, it's there's a piece in forest because it's like Nocturne or something for forest access logic, right?
Oh, that could very well be.
Because that is always a thing.
Yeah, whenever you see something over 10, you gotta start wondering what kind of garbage is the sea throwing at me.
Are those iron boots?
Yeah, those are definitely iron boots.
Nice.
So this is something that we're gonna have to pay attention to. How do we get to Forest Temple? Because sometimes Forest Temple can be theoretically locked behind a lot of items if access to Minuet or Sarias is buried very deep in the logic. So it's one of those places where you can get to it very easily in practice, but you need to know when the seed expects you to get there, depending on which Triforce piece you're trying to target.
Yeah, exactly. Like, we could very well already be able to access the Triforce of Power, even though it's 11 deep in. And Courage might very well take much longer than Power, just because of the location of items. It can be weird like that. It can definitely be misleading.
I had an 18-step seed just to backflip over Mido.
Yeah, exactly.
And I figured it out, and I said, all I have to do is backflip over Mido. What am I doing?
Yeah, Nocturne is a bit less forgiving in that regard. You can't backflip over the gates.
No, unfortunately.
Unfortunately not, no.
No.
As we continue to get more information about how the seed is laid out, one of the things that is really interesting about Triforce Blitz is the ability to eliminate dungeons as possibilities. So if we find that if we find Storms, for example, and we know how many items Storms is locked behind, like maybe it's one of the child songs that you can get in Sphere Zero, we can know for sure that maybe Power can't be in Bottom of the Well because 11 items is way too many for Bottom of the Well.
Storms.
Likewise, we know that Wisdom can never be in Bottom of the Well because any piece in Bottom of the Well, speaking of Bottom of the Well, there's Storms.
Yeah, this Courage is starting to look pretty likely.
Yeah, because that's already ZL and Storms locked, yep.
Yeah, if it's beneath a bombable rock, then we're pretty close, I would say.
Yeah, so we'll see. So Courage, if the runners are targeting Courage, Bottom of the Well might be a decent place to try and look. But we can be pretty confident that Power is not going to be in Bottom of the Well. And as we continue to get more information, in Triforce Blitz, you really don't necessarily want to just clear dungeons randomly. If you need to clear a dungeon for an item, there's a good chance that you're going to get a path hint, and you're going to know that you need to go there. The trick to Triforce Blitz is use your information to figure out which dungeon the Triforce piece is going to be in, and then drop everything and go straight there, forgetting everything else.
Right, yeah, because this was a big motivation for designing Triforce Blitz, is that often we felt that in standard seeds, you were just kind of thrown, to the lions when it came to where items could be, and the prevailing strategy in Season 5 is to just start rushing the dungeons you can because of their high density. But in Triforce Blitz, this is not a good idea because, as Ella said, if a dungeon is required, it's almost guaranteed to be hinted somewhere. So you just know where you have to go. So you have to think very differently, and information gathering, for that matter, is a far higher priority on the list, I would say. And routing that inefficiently as well.
If I get Dins, I always just rush Shadow. until I realize it's for Spirit Key logic, and I'm like, cool.
Well, yeah, but that's one of the cool things about Triforce Blitz, right? Is that, how we often said, oh, that's such an interesting move that someone would gamble like that. But the potential of doing risky gambles in Triforce Blitz is incredibly high if you want to go there. Yeah. Yeah,
and in Triforce Blitz, there's actual concrete information to kind of base your gambles off of, because I mean, some players, especially I think the players that we're showing off here, they are able to track the seed's logic to the point where they could figure out if Shadow Temple requires too many items, and so it's beyond 11, and if that's the case, then Shadow Temple is effectively dead. There's no reason to ever go there.
Right,
and 11 is not that high. Shadow Temple requires so many items between Nocturne and Dins and Hovers that usually when you have a Triforce piece in Shadow Temple, the items that you find in your hinted areas stick out like a sore thumb, and that's a boomerang, I think, on top of DC.
I think so too.
We got a Kakariko Path to Courage hint. So, Storms, well, that ZL is looking a little bit more nice, but we also got a hook shot there, and a scale.
Right.
So.
Yeah, it's a bit up in the air right now. I mean, if we find Saria's song relatively early, then that could completely validate the Courage already, right? Because then I think we already have 3 items on the path at that point.
So ZL cannot be hinted on the path, but it is included in the path count.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Yes.
And you can see the importance of hints here. Fluflush has gone out of the way to get that Castle 2 hint, which almost nobody ever checks. And that's because hints are so valuable in Blitz that in some cases it can be worth trying to go really out of your way to get that extra path hint that's going to solve the seed for you.
Right, and on that note, I wanted to ask you something really quickly that someone might be wondering right now, is what happens if you find a double hint? Like, we saw path to Cactuo being on the path to Courage twice now in different locations. Are those unique hints, or is that a duplicate?
So, just like in Season 5, all the path all the path hints have one duplicate. So we have
there
two
it
hints. We have one. Sorry.
Yeah.
We've got one hint right now for. Sorry, I get interrupted by a Triforce piece.
Yeah.
So we've got one.
We indeed found the wisdom, as expected, in the Dongo's Cavern. The 0 is usually a pretty dead giveaway. Doesn't have to be. The 0 can be in other places too, but it's unlikely. It usually requires there being like multiple of the same item in the same sphere. That's rare, I would say, but it happens.
So you can see now that Favio has the magic stopwatch. So if somehow we manage to go another hour and 50 minutes and nobody finds any more pieces, then Favio is going to be the winner.
What is this Mido's house?
Holy crap, Mido's been hoarding. It's all garbage.
Mido really provido today.
Yeah, wow. And it's all garbage, isn't it? Oh no, there's a bow. That's very good. That's good. All right. So now we have a bow, we have a hook shot, and we have... No, we don't have Zarya's song yet. But if we find Zarya's song or Minuet, then I would say Courage is pretty much accessible.
We now know where Gold Scale is. And I think this is a great segue.
I think we do.
Something else.
No, we found the other scale too. We do know where Gold Scale is.
Yeah. I'm like, this is a great segue into something else Triforce Blitz changes.
So that was a change for a while, but we ended up disabling the logical Gold Scale entry into Water. For a while in Triforce Blitz, you could finish Water Temple logically with Gold Scale and Longshot, but we decided that was confusing, and so now even doing Morpha hard requires Iron Boots, at least logically. It's not hard requires, but logically it's always going to expect you to get those Iron Boots.
Yeah, it's still permissible to get in there with a Gold Scale and like skip the Iron Boots, but logically it's something you have to keep in mind. We do know where the Iron Boots are though. They are in the graveyard in the TARDIS, so no mysteries in that regard with the seeds. Yeah. Also, the reason why we did this, it was because we got a couple of, I think, 2 really garbage seeds, and we just kind of were like, that doesn't.
I heard it was because someone got Iron Boots on Morpha. What?
That may have been true. During the development, there was a time when we didn't have Way of the Wanderer, and that kind of made seeds where you could either get Gold Scale or Iron Boots a problem because you could get very lost. Also, Gerudo Valley on the Path of Power.
I think I also saw Kokiri Forest on the Path of Courage. So
yeah, I think Forest Temple is a pretty sure bet at this point.
Yeah, it's either the bow or the slingshot. Was the only other item in there.
Right, yeah. I mean, if it's the bow, which, I mean, that will be the most obvious one, right? Then we need a bow, a hookshot, and either Minuet or Zarya's, and then I think we can probably see our Triforce piece appear pretty quickly.
It's Gold Scale to get something on Lab Dive. Because there was a scale in CAC and there was a scale in
I mean, that is possible. That is possible, yeah. Water Temple is a foolish choice.
And Jabu is foolish.
Nice. I think we saw that one earlier, though, didn't we?
Did we see that one already?
I recall we said something like that.
I think we were just talking about how Jabu is normally always foolish.
Well, there you go.
I get very scared when speculating about dungeons because there have been at least a handful of seeds where I've been 100% positive that a Triforce piece was in a certain place, and then it's just not there, and I'm staring at the wall in a dungeon for 30 seconds, just completely baffled.
Right.
See, apparently in Triforce Blitz, I hard dodge Forest like it's the plague, and my Triforce piece is always in Forest when I do that. I'm like, it can't be in Forest, right? It's in Forest.
There's still an outside chance that things that point to Forest Temple could also end up being for GTG. If Epona's is required to cross, but then it's hookshot locked there. So sometimes it can be very difficult to suss out the proper location when you have things like hookshot path or bow path or things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and we talk a lot about logic here, and obviously figuring out a seed is a big part of Triforce Blitz, and a thing we definitely wanted.
Oh, there's Forest.
Oh, there it is.
There it is.
Yeah, but that wasn't the only design consideration, because actually when you put a time limit in place and you make the seeds shorter, it turns out that the amount of time you spend on execution becomes like relatively more important, because your movement should be far more intentful towards your goal, rather than just looking around. And then at that point, you could have a great execution in the casino seed, but if someone just finds the item in the place you are going to go last, then you're just out of luck. Here, however, execution tends to really add up very quickly. So it kind of, you wouldn't think it, but it rewards it in both ways. It's very interesting.
You definitely don't forget how your execution went in a seed when you find the third Triforce piece 10 seconds after the time limit.
Yep.
I've done that I've done that a handful of times, and it's so annoying.
There was an infamous async from a previous month where that happened to me.
Ooh.
Where I was 2 hours and 10 seconds for a Triforce piece, and you just think about like all the little things that you could have done better, because it's such a huge deal to get that extra piece in terms of the tiebreaker.
Yeah, it is, absolutely. There's another power Gerudo Valley hint, so that's the duplicates.
Now, interestingly enough, we still have not found any sort of logical explosives or any strength upgrades. We do know that Triforce piece in Dodongo's Cavern is a 0, which means there has to be multiple ways to get that. So we can be pretty confident that either there's like a hammer out there as well as a strength upgrade, or maybe a bomb bag and a strength upgrade, or maybe multiple bomb bags or things like that. Even though we haven't found them yet, we know that they're out there.
It has to be, otherwise the seed wouldn't make sense, and we'd have to look into the code a bit.
Chews are not in logic, but chews are in gilded chests, correct?
Yes.
They are in big chests. Bomb chews in big chests.
Bomb chews in big chests. But they are not in logic.
No, but it is just because bomb chews are so incredibly useful and powerful and useful to the player.
Graveyard is path to power.
Yeah, we found storms there, I recall.
And
of course, Iron Boots. Iron Boots too.
Oh, Iron Boots are there, yep.
But we know the water temple is foolish, so...
Toilet.
Toilet could be toilet.
I got...
Could be ice waters.
I got you baited into thinking I had a Triforce piece in toilet once. Because I had Epona's path, Iron Boots path, and Song of Time path. And I'm like, there's no way it's in the water temple with Epona's, right? No, it was in water temple.
We should keep in mind that Water Temple is Forest Medallion, as Cola is wisely pointing out.
That is,
so there could be some songs locked behind barren dungeons. And one of the things that's nice about Triforce Blitz is that we have that boss Keezy, and with the Forest Temple shortcut enabled, with the exception of Shadow Temple, every single dungeon that you need to complete, you can pretty much go straight to the boss without doing any checks in the dungeon. So even foolish dungeons are basically just a 1.5 or 2 minute detour, and they're not going to really slow you down that much as long as you know you need to do them.
Right,
well,
but in this...
Spirit's still pretty long.
Yeah. In the case of this seed, though, we already saw that Bolero is on the Ocarina of Time, so I don't think that's going to play into much at all.
Yes, but the prelude check locked behind Forest Medallion could potentially be...
Oh, yes. Mm-hmm. We'll have to find out.
Chuckles, thank you for posting the clip of that one time I got you baited. Thinking it was a toilet. Thank you. Not my finest moment, but it was a great clip.
And, as we kind of predicted, but as you see, our runners are looking extremely hard for hints. They really aren't skipping many at all. And that's just because of how powerful they are. That's our third Gerudo Valley hint.
You think anyone's going to pick up backup lake hints? I tend to do it if I'm struggling to find information.
It's definitely possible. Oh my god, this might.
This is a really nice.
Oh my god.
Because getting that boomerang in Child and being in this location Well, it looks like he's going back up to Goron City, but I was thinking he might end up going to Graveyard, use that boomerang to pick up the Iron Boots, but it looks like he's got other plans.
Oh, yeah.
So Fabio now has gold scale. Oh, that scale is Oh wait, no, there should be a Bombex. I'm like, that's entrance to Zora's domain.
Yeah, we know there's some Bomback or some or similar available. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's Sphere 0 as it is, actually.
Yes, that scale is Sphere 0. The other one is Bomb Lock. It was in the Rita Grotto. Okay.
Mm-hmm. Right. Well then.
Wow, that's such a nice trick by Fluflush to do the Bomb Chew pot.
Yeah.
I need to learn that.
Yeah, it's out of logic, but it's not free by any means, and he nailed it first try.
Yeah, it's
oh, Fabio, you're gonna Mito skip and not just backflip over him.
It's to save time when Fabio has to come back to Forest Temple for the third time later this seed.
I hate when that happens. Oh my lord, I hate when that happens.
Yeah.
We've all been there. The laughter is like knowing laughter.
Yeah, Forest Temple gets really weird in Triforce Blitz because it's not something you have to linearly solve anymore. Like, it's because the elevator's open, you can go down, and there's basically 3 paths, and they all require different items. To go down, you require only the hook shot. To go into the courtyard, you require the hook shot and the bow, and to go into the side area, you need the hookshot bow and the strength item, I'm for sure. So you can easily make 3 return tips to Forest Temple, which is the worst. No one wants that.
Ooh, we're getting a 7-year high five.
I like that because it's kind of in sync, but they're in different ages.
Mm-hmm.
Forest Temple is so much more convenient now because you don't really need to do extra checks in Forest Temple unless you're specifically looking for something.
Yeah.
And actually, Forest Temple ends up being one of the fastest dungeons to beat to get access to Ganon's castle, because you can literally just run in and go right to Phantom Ganon, and it definitely changes the pain of rushing like barren forest for a medallion that we've all done so many times.
Yeah.
Ooh, bottom of the well is on Way of the Wanderer.
Okay, interesting.
Oh, interesting. Oh, DC is path.
Okay, but did we find anything in DC? I don't remember.
I
think we got the piece and bailed.
Dins! We got Dins! We got Dins!
Oh,
we got Dins.
no!
We got Dins! It's in Shadow!
Shadow Temple is coming.
Oh, well, there's
Nocturne!
But you know what? What I love the most about Triforce Blitz is that Forest Temple lovers like me are finally redeemed, and Forest Temple is finally the great dungeon it belongs to be. There's no need to hate it anymore. It's not a boring, resident sleeper temple anymore. You can do it very quickly. And there's decisions to make. There's multiple routes you can take. It's interesting now.
So what are our songs in SFM? Because we have a probable path Dins. Do we have a path Nocturne necessarily?
No.
Very potentially, but...
Do have a Gerudo Valley path to power that no one's gone yet.
Yeah. No, and they can't, right? Not yet.
Gerudo Valley?
We lack the songs or the long shot, right? So we can't go to Gerudo. Oh well, I guess
You can go to Gerudo Valley as a child.
I'm thinking Fortress. Never mind. Sorry.
Yeah, Gerudo Fortress is foolish. So
I've been on hiatus for a while. I need to get back into the swing of things.
So we got a question about Wanderer in the chat, and I just want to go over it really briefly for those who weren't here during the initial explanation. Wanderer is a location that has some item that the seed's playthrough uses to beat the seed, but is not hard required to beat the seed. This is kind of also known as a bait hint. It might help you, and it might also be a wallet. So use your discretion on how much time you want to dedicate to those hints. And especially in low path count seeds, those could be very useful because when there's multiple copies of all the items available, you're going to need one of the copies, and it's not going to be a hinted path. So going after the Wanderer hints could be more valuable.
Yeah.
But in other seeds, it might just point to that wallet that you need to beat Volvagia for Fire Temple and just be a big waste of time.
Yeah.
I
And,
got. Oh, go ahead.
and to give like two really easy examples, there's one in this seed that was almost guaranteed to show up. Is that one of the Wanderer hints in this seed will be the explosives required to get the Triforce piece in the Dongo's Cavern, because it's a 0 path thing. But we still need some way of accessing that Triforce piece. So that will be the item that the generator used to actually get to that piece. Another really easy example, if you just have kind of issues like visualizing it, a good example is, for example, the slingshot for Goma. Logically, not required because we can do the B1 skip and everything, but it's something the seed will have used to beat Goma. The generator,
My
that is.
favorite bait I've gotten from Way of the Wanderer is I got fire arrows hinted as a thing. So I'm like, okay, cool. What do I use fire arrows for that I normally don't use dins for?
Is there anything?
It was for Spirit Temple Key Logic.
Oh, of course.
The classic fire arrow path is for Shadow 2 in Ganon's Castle. That's always a fun one when that shows up.
Oh,
That's what I
yeah,
thought it
yeah.
was too. So I rushed Ganon's Castle. I said it's not here. I said it's something's in Haunted Wasteland, isn't it? No, it was just Spirit Key Logic.
The classic Haunted Wasteland for Dins. That's my favorite.
I love when that happens.
Yeah, good stuff.
Ooh, GTG's on Path to Power.
Great. Well, once you stop on the road to Valley, you can quickly go there too.
Yeah.
It is interesting, though. We found so many items for Shadow Temple already, and we still have a whole ton of unsolved path hints, only needing magic and hovers to get into Shadow Temple all the way. So it looks like we're going to be seeing Domain here in a second.
Yes.
Well, I didn't even know you could use the chicken to go from the right side.
Oh,
That's crazy.
you didn't? Oh, well, there you go.
I need to practice getting in here without ZL. I can do it as adult. I can't do it with a chicken for some reason.
Oh, it's so easy. If on the other side, you just literally like jump off the thing, like facing towards that wall, and you just press forward and you get there. It's so easy. You don't even. I don't think it's something you need to practice. You just do it.
You just do it.
Yeah, literally.
Alright, Fabio going in here. What could be Way of the Wanderer in here? Because this is Storms and ZL locked.
Yeah, that's a good question.
So if anything, I'd assume it's for Courage.
I don't remember.
So Way of the Wanderer doesn't necessarily point to a specific piece, so we're probably never going to know where it's pointing to. I'm interested to see Bottom of the Well because this is a potential Triforce piece location. We know that Bottom of the Well is locked behind at least 2 for most of the checks because we had Zelda's Lullaby that was locking Song of Storms. So if there's somehow a path bomb bag or some path item that's locking all the bomb bags, then some of the bomb lock checks here in Bottom of the Well could end up being 3 and potentially contain that Triforce piece of Courage.
Right, and speaking of which, let's talk strategy for a moment here, because Vavio and Fluflush are doing 2 very different things. Vavio has opted to immediately go for DC and now above the well, chasing those low path count Triforce pieces. But Fluflush is, completely going into different locations. And
Yeah,
this could come back to bite him, right? Because if the Triforce piece happens to be right here, then Fluflush's only path to victory at that point will be to go for to find the Triforce of power.
Oh no!
Why?
Oh, that's not a happy feeling.
No.
That's
not-
Mirror
oh,
Shield
okay.
Wanderer question mark?
Can that be a thing?
It can be if there's like a reward locked behind Spirit Temple somehow that is optional. Like if there were
Oh my god.
yeah.
Stack of the Well.
That's more likely. That's
More likely, yeah.
Likely. Okay,
Could
what
be-
is in Domain? There is a big chest here. What is in Domain? This is Path.
We're about to find out.
What is-
A long
Oh.
shot.
I don't like that.
Well, that gives us
Oh.
access to Fortress and GTG at least. So
Okay. What have we gotten so far for Courage?
GTG is on the path to on power. Sorry. So
It's Path to Power, but I think we have all 3 hints for Courage.
God. I wish I had kept track of that.
Okay, so it's Zora's Domain, Kakariko, and Kokiri.
Okay.
If it could be the long shot, because Kakariko had the hook shot.
Yeah.
So that leaves a bow, a sling, a scale, and a Goron tunic in Kokiri.
Right, and we know the long shot is not required for Water Temple because that is foolish, so there's nothing there.
Yeah.
But it could just be. It could be
I
in
think it's just
GGG.
GGG.
Yeah, because then you long
GGG
shot
for the
over the
bow.
bridge. Yeah.
Yeah, and the bow's probably path.
Yeah, and it could just be on those two the two things that dropped right at the start. Yeah. God, it could be
Or
it.
for keys or something like that. GTG's.
And it's so funny because we were so certain it would probably. Well, we weren't certain. But it was a good chance. Nice little trick there with the bigger chest to skip the climb. We were so sure it was going to be in Forest Temple, but that starting to look. It's still possible, but it's starting to look less like another big chest.
My bottom of the well stacked. Oh, wait a minute.
That's a bow. That's
okay.
There's another bow, so that bow's not path.
Okay, so we're down to a slingshot and a scale.
Oh my!
Great.
Unless I'm assuming they checked the Kokiri sword chest.
Another big chest.
What is this? Bottom of the well.
Okay, bracelet.
Oh, okay. I wonder if that's it. That seems really likely.
Great. So I'm glad that that's cleared up our Way of the Wanderer and bottom of the well. So now we are completely confident that we have no idea what's going on.
Yep. We got
And
more information. And we have less answers.
Oh my god!
I love it. That's a troll.
Wait, what?
I'm confused.
So, interestingly enough, that means that if there's something that we need in Spirit Temple, Storms is always going to be path.
Ooh, oh, Shadow Temple's foolish.
Oh,
What?
wow.
What?
Now this is getting very interesting.
What is the dids?
What?
The dids has to be for spirit, right?
Yeah, I assume so.
If Shadow's foolish. Unless.
Well, the dins could also just be for the torches in the wasteland. Like,
I wonder if you need something on Burning Cack.
a song, you mean?
Yeah, I wonder if you need the song on Burning Cack.
Song of Time, perhaps?
Because Shadow is the water medallion.
Yeah. Oh, good point. And water is and water is the forest one, right?
And Graveyard is also on the path.
And we did find a long shot, and we know there's iron boots. Oh, you might be onto something.
See, when I'm not playing these, I'm very good at watching other people and breaking down where stuff is. When I'm playing, I can't connect dots.
It's almost like when you can use all of your brain to put the logic.
That's Kokiri Sword of these settings is so weird.
Yeah,
because it's closed Deku.
So you still need it.
You need it, but it's also
it.
really obvious if it's a path or not. Because if the piece is in Deku and the Kokiri Sword is like super early, it's like, true. SFM's path to power. What did we get in SFM? Nocturne. And what was on Saria's?
I don't remember.
So I have some ideas. I'm starting to think to figure out kind of what's going on here. But something that's good to think about now that we have that Kokiri Sword. So Fluflush has the ability to go to Deku Tree, but whenever you get an item like that, you really need to think about how many items was that item locked behind to think about whether there could actually be a Triforce piece there. If there's a bomb bag available, we already have our 0. So the 3 is very unlikely to be in Deku Tree because there would have to be 2 items locking bomb bag, and that seems pretty unlikely at this point.
Very unlikely, yeah.
Okay, so Saria's song was Suns, so it's either Suns or Nocturne.
You know what, though? I'm ready to throw in my guess for the church.
Suns? It's Suns because it's in the Sun Song Graveyard.
Nah. I don't buy that one. No, I think I know what a Triforce... I think I have an idea what a Triforce of Power might be, and I'm going to say it's in GTG.
It's in GTG?
I think so,
but
yeah.
GTG is on the path to power.
Oh, then it can be there?
Oh, great. So,
Shadow Temple. Foolish Shadow Temple, everybody.
I think we're gonna see... I think you're completely correct about the Nocturne, though. Right? The Burning Cack check. I think that is probably gonna be coming into play.
We haven't gotten the hint for it yet.
No, we haven't. Yeah, you're
Because
correct.
it's an always hint, yeah.
It's very interesting.
What could it be? Is it like Requiem for Child Spirit? What song could it be? Like,
oh god, Child Spirit, that's a good point, yeah.
So our runners need to be thinking very carefully about this information because there's a lot to think about here. We have probably Path Longshot, and it seems like we've got Path Iron Boots potentially as well. So it looks like Water Temple might be logically required. Also, it's Baron, and we've had everything locking Shadow Temple also show up as Path, and Shadow Temple is also Baron, so that's cool. So actually getting the Nocturne song is going to require a serious time investment. Shadow Temple is slow.
Yeah, it's
and doing Baron Shadow is really, really slow. So,
it's easily the longest, I would say, right now in these settings, for sure, yeah. Because there's no shortcuts. I mean, even with Spirit Temple is also relatively long, but you just go in there, you hook it up to the platform, and you can go to the final boss, right? As long as you have the Mirror Shield.
Yep.
So in Triforce Blitz, if you understand the logic and you can find a way to bypass it, all the more power to you. So if we figure out what the song is on Nocturne, and we can figure out a way to get around needing it, we might be able to shave a tremendous amount of time off of finding that Triforce piece and skip having to do a bunch of Baron dungeons. So it really rewards you for thinking about the logic of the seed, because even though the seed wants you to go full clear Baron Shadow, maybe you can get around it if you understand where the seed is trying to point you.
Right, yeah. I've had seeds that I've watched you play, and I myself had a little notepad open where I was just trying to reconstruct like what the path might look like, so I could figure out like, okay, so where might this be? I was like trying to like, just theorize like certain paths, like how would the items fit together to support something.
All right, so to answer Sean's question, Shadow shortcut makes keys really weird, doesn't it?
Oh yeah.
Yes, that was the exact rationale for leaving it off. I still have yet to have a seed where completing Shadow was hard required to get something behind it. I mean, maybe this will be the first, but I've played a lot of seeds, and it just almost never happens in practice. And also, we want to try and keep the logic very, very similar to Season 5 as much as possible, so that people trying Triforce Blitz for the first time don't have to learn a lot of crazy logic quirks. Everything for all the checks is exactly the same as Season 5, with the exception of those 2 checks in Forest Temple that are now in logic with the hookshot. So everything else is completely the same as what you're used to, and it doesn't require you to learn any like special rules or any logic for like tricks that are enabled in the settings. It's just exactly what you'd expect.
Yeah, a big thing we wanted was that you could just pick up and go relatively quickly. Of course, with the Triforces, there are some things you have to learn in that regard, but I think at least for Season 1, we don't want to stray too far from Season 5's settings. Triforce Blitz Season 2, we might try something a bit more courageous, but definitely not for the beginning.
I just read 20 is Greg.
Well, there you go. There it is. At least we know where it is now, so we can put the question to bed.
Did we mention that the Rang chest is dead? Did we mention that? Are we mentioning it now?
No, we haven't, but yes, that's correct. The Boomerang chest in Jabu Jabu's belly is just not enabled. It's just garbage check. We didn't feel like it was fun at all to deal with that bullshit.
And Frogs 2 is turned off as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much all of the quote-unquote bad always checks in Season 5 are just disabled. So Frogs 2, all the masks, Boomerang chest is kind of a special case because we want all of the Jabu checks to logically require Boomerang for hint purposes. It just makes things more clear. So that's kind of a game balance thing. Bigoron is set to claim check only. And the advantage of doing it is actually that it frees up so many Gossip Stones for us to place path hints there instead of taking up a bunch of kind of useless always hints. Also, 30, 40, and 50 skulls are disabled as well, and the always hint is for 20.
Right, yeah.
And don't be digging.
And this was important because with Triforce Blitz, a big part obviously was the Blitz aspect of it. We really wanted to expedite these seeds as much as possible, and all of those hints just kind of don't fit in with that logic. Having to get 30 skulls takes up a pretty significant amount of time. the skull moss check takes up a pretty significant of time, like easily over 10% of the siege duration. Like if it goes for 2 hours, which is too much for us. Really, we just didn't want to do that.
All right, Floosh, prove me that Sun Song is path for this.
I don't think so. Well, we'll see.
I don't think
it's
so.
Nocturne.
I don't think so either. It's just it's a possibility. Yeah, it's No, survey says no.
Server says no. Computer says no
So
as well.
it's either Storm's path or it's the Iron Boots.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, we should think about a different path. I think if we want to understand things, it's kind of important to try and cling on to one little nugget of information and try to get everything we can out of it. Because we have that SFM path, and so right now that SFM path can literally only point to one thing, and that's Nocturne. And yet we know that Shadow is barren, so that kind of only leaves one possibility to explain what could actually be happening.
And that is Burning Kick.
Burning Kick almost seems like the only, like, yeah. I don't. What else could it be, really? Even though hints are powerful, it's definitely not for the hints there, by the way. Though that would be interesting if hints were that powerful that they would be logically required.
Alright, Floosh got the Iron Boots.
He sure does.
So he can now logically go beat Water Temple. Because he has the long shot.
You know, I just realized that when Chile designed their flag, they were just like, let's take the American flag, but it's just one of everything. One white bar, one red bar, one star. Keep it simple. Too many stars and stripes. It's a star and stripe.
Yep. Right, Floosh, 10 skulls. Dead. That's the great thing about Blitz seeds, is if you get a hint and you don't need anything, the most you gotta collect up to is 10 skulls.
Yeah.
And most of the time you can also just get away with not collecting any skulls.
Oh yeah, on that note, I think we're about to see it. This is my favorite thing.
Oh, let's
Andrew's chickens only requires
3 chickens?
Exactly!
I love this.
It's too much time otherwise, like 3 minutes.
I'm so happy you made this change when you made these. I love doing this. I had to do normal chickens for all 7 of them the other day, and I'm like, how do you do this again?
Yeah,
it's hard to go back to playing normal after doing Blitz, to be honest.
It is.
Yeah, and I mean, we got 3 because I think we kind of wanted to maintain the spirit of the check, but because we could have also just made it 0, but that feels wrong.
Still no logical explosives, by the way, so kind of wondering what's going on there. We've seen a lot of checks.
Yeah.
Yep.
I wonder if
it could just very well be that the strength is locked behind. The bomb is locked behind strength 2, because we did find two strengths.
There were storms locked though.
Yeah, there were storms locked. That's true. Yeah, that's true. Nah, yeah, right. That makes
Unless I guess there could be a hammer that's sphere 0 somewhere.
That could be it.
So I think we really have a lot of information about power at this point. Like, we've only really seen Bottom of the Well and Dodongo's Cavern, but there's really very few places that power can actually be if we think that Nocturne, whatever that song is logically required. It pretty much has to be either like some Song of Time shenanigans, which limits it to 1 dungeon, because Water Temple is foolish, so the Triforce piece can't be there. Or it could be Requiem, which also limits it to 1 dungeon. So even though we've only seen 2 dungeons, we know for sure that power is pretty much in one of 2 places, and we're never going to have to go to like deep forest looking for power. If the runners can put together the deduction about what the logic of the seed is, they can really narrow the search space a lot and not get too lost. But the challenge is going to be finding courage. That one is totally up in the air, and we have no idea where that one could be.
Definitely, the tree path is pretty misleading here, I would say, because it's not obvious.
Oh, could it be in Deku Tree?
It could definitely be in Deku Tree, yeah. Of course.
It could be on Goma, because there was a slingshot in Kokiri Forest.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh.
or it could be bomb bag. No, I don't think it could be bomb bag because the Curiosaur was explosives or hammer locked. So there's just a lot we don't know, and I think I kind of wonder what the runners are going to do about this. Do they try to chase after power because they can have some good information about where it could be and hope to maybe stumble across some better information later on that might narrow it down? Like, for example, if they found the logical explosives. Or they could just choose to go after some of these low sphere dungeons like Deku Tree or maybe Forest Temple or GTG that we know are pretty shallow and could be around the 3 range. But if they're wrong, you could invest a lot of time and get nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and choices are very meaningful in Triforce Blitz. Whether you decide to go to X or Y, you really gotta be. You can just you can, of course, you can do anything, but you don't want to be in a position where you're just gambling. Like, oh well, maybe it's here, maybe it's there. You kind of want to be making informed decisions, except maybe for like a 0 path count, wisdom, Triforce piece in DC. You might want to gamble that one. That's a pretty likely outcome. But I think what's interesting, what you mentioned earlier about the power, is that we are pretty certain that it will require Nocturne, right? Or well, I mean not Nocturne, but I mean Burning Cack, the Nocturne check.
Right.
So if it's for Song of Time or for Requiem, neither of these things are things you can really skip. So logically, there's no way of getting around these 2 things either. So.
So they say.
So they say, yeah.
Yeah. So we are still. I'm looking at the next sheet. We still are missing 1 path hint. If we ever find it.
Back of Lake, perhaps.
Yeah, it's that 1 grotto in Hyrule Field that no one goes to because it's like hammer locked, right, or something.
Oh, that one. That one is garbage. Oh, wow! He messed up Song of Storms.
Fluflush messed this up earlier too.
There's a
they
reason
both
that I
did.
skip this check every single seed that I play, and then it ends up having like the item that I need.
It's
In the spirit of Blitz, I don't want to remove this check, but could we just make them play the song like faster? Is that possible?
Can we just disable this check? I don't like this check sometimes. Fluflush rip shields.
Rip shields.
Maybe in season 2 we'll figure out a way to make it shorter. I don't even know if that's configurable. But yeah, I mean, I think I've made my thoughts on this check very clear by how often I skip it, which is almost always.
Thumbs down. We don't like it. We don't like the check.
I have a hard time with memorization in real life, let alone in a video game.
You want to know how I do this? I don't play Rando Ultimate. When I do it, you know what I do? I open up my Twitch stream on my second monitor, and I just look at the broadcast because it's kind of behind the actual song, and I just play along to that. No shame. Nice. No shame.
There's nothing wrong with that.
That's next level meta right there.
Mm-hmm.
It's allowed, right? You're allowed to watch your own broadcast, so I don't see the problem.
So what are we going to do? We have 1 bomb shoe left for Fabio. It looks like 4 for Fluflush. I'm sure that they thought when they got those 2 bomb shoes in CAC that they were going to be home free and having no problems with explosives for the rest of the seed, and that didn't happen.
No.
So yeah, what can they do? Like, this seed is starting to become very different than we all expected.
Yeah, and also on a different note, looking at the Triforce pieces, I'm getting very concerned for Fluflush here because he still hasn't gone to DC to pick that one up.
He has 2 strengths now, so I'm hoping...
Yeah, he can go pick it up very quickly, but the point is more like Vavio, like if he finds the courage piece, then it's literally going to come down to Fluflush being able to find all 3 pieces before he does.
Mm-hmm.
Which is tricky because we're soon reaching the halfway point of the seed.
Yeah, and this is where the strategizing comes in. So what I've seen from Fluflush so far this seed is that he thinks that he can get all 3 pieces before the end. And so it's not really a priority for him to target a piece where, like, Fluflush is no novice. He's probably well aware that there's a high chance that it's in Dodongo's cavern, but he's trying to get all 3 pieces as efficiently as possible, because you're only done when you've gotten all 3 or when the time limit hits. And based on the path counts, these aren't particularly high path counts. And so he probably thinks that he's got time to get all 3 and that it's not going to come down to the time limit.
Yeah.
Whether he's right, we'll see.
And that's a gamble, a big one, of course. But, whether we'll find out if it's going to pay out or not. But it's a gamble for sure. And it's the kind of gambles you can see more often in Triforce Blitz, because the decision making that's possible here is, there's a high degree of agency, and you can shoot yourself in the foot with that just as much as it can help you.
We're peeking the boulder rocks.
It's always a big chest. Always.
That is big.
Always.
And you never hammer.
Never a hammer. Well, I mean, we know there's a hammer somewhere in Sphere Zero at this point. Yeah, but it's pretty likely.
All right. When you go check that, you never have hammer, and it's always a big chest. And if you have hammer, it's never
small.
A big chest.
It's always small. Yeah. The game knows. The game just knows.
All right. So Fabio's heading to GTG, which is a path location and a potential location for courage.
Or power.
That would be a really funny idea.
I don't think it can be power, because this is on path to power. I didn't think they could be in the same location.
Well, so GTG key logic, you don't know till you know.
Yeah, that is true. Song of Time is very weird.
I was actually going to ask that, Ila, if there's if a dungeon is on the path, can a piece also still be in that dungeon if it's on the same path?
Yeah, absolutely. So you could have like hover boots in Shadow Temple for a Triforce piece deeper in Shadow Temple.
Okay, yeah, that's what I wanted to know. Okay, I thought so, but
obviously not this seed. But
I mean, the power piece could literally be in GGG's diving area, right? Like in a toilet. It's not impossible.
Or it could be in the maze, key locked behind Song of Time, logically.
Oh yeah, true. In the middle or something.
Yep.
Garbage.
We'll see in a minute. It's going to be interesting to see whether those checks in the middle are big. I'm pretty sure that's why Fabio is here.
I think so too, yeah. He's getting information. I mean, this place is required. It is on the path, right? So you're going to check it at some point anyway, but there's a lot of information to be had here.
What is interesting is, obviously it's a time sink.
Ooh.
Oh, yeah.
Here we
it's
go.
a time sink. They have all the items to do Burning Cack.
They do, yeah.
Yeah. So it's a time sink, but you could do it.
At this point, I would start thinking about it.
I see, game.
That is logically locked behind Song of Time because there is a key here.
Oh, that's terrible.
That is awful. Yeah, that is terrible.
Oh,
now what?
Yeah, now I am.
Do you reset? Do you save scum it?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm shell shocked at this point. I'm not really sure what to think anymore.
Part of me's like, let's run back to the valley.
Oh my god!
What is this GTG?
No way.
Oh, that's hammerlocked too.
This is disgusting, and I don't like this.
Watch this beat the power piece.
That'd be hilarious.
That would have been hilarious.
But
I was expecting that to be power. I'm not gonna lie.
It's burning cack for Song of Time. The Triforce piece right there.
Yeah, I gotta ask you though. Like,
oh my god!
No, please, Gabe, stop.
Stop it.
Oh my lord!
Oh my lord!
It's trolling. This seed is hard trolling right now.
So Fabio has a lot to think about right now because he knows that because there's a key behind those Song of Time checks, that the game is expecting you to always have Song of Time in order to get that hammer. And we don't know where Song of Time is, but based on the songs that we have left, it's probably locked behind a lot of items, and it could even be on the Nocturne song. Which would be locked behind Shadow Temple and Water with all those items that we know are path. So, do you go fire here? It could be a legitimate place for power to show up.
Oh, yeah, it could definitely be.
This is when I start pulling out my fingers and counting items on my hand.
I'd be getting out the notepad at this point.
This item's required, then this item. Okay, that's 5.
Yeah. I'd be writing out I'd be writing out on a notepad right now, like, you know the thing where the math formulas appear in front of someone's face, like that meme. That'd be pretty much me in this situation. Like, what's going on here?
It looks like there's a lot of keys in the maze.
Quite a few, yeah.
So we have some speculation in chat that maybe that Dodongo's piece wasn't actually wisdom, and
Ooh.
I don't know. I legitimately I don't know. I don't.
I don't know either, because let's see, we haven't found a third strength yet, but 2 strengths are Storm's Lock. That hammer is Song of Time lock, and the only bomb bag we know is currently Longshot locked.
Well, so we have Longshot in Logic, so that I believe that bomb bag is in.
It's in Logic.
Sure.
Yeah, it
so,
is. It is.
Ganon's is a potential 0 right now
That's a wallet.
We have Saria's and Hookshot, so we could beat Forest Temple, and we have a logical bomb bag, so we could beat Dodongo's Cavern. And I don't think there's any overlap necessarily between those 2 paths. So getting to Ganon's Castle is technically a 0, and as far as we know, Dodongo's Cavern could potentially be locked behind both of those hookshots.
If it's those 2 hook shots, because you need 2 hook shots to cross the bridge, and you need a hook shot to get to that bomb bag.
Both of those hook shots were in path locations.
Well, yeah, I get that, but it's still like, if we're having a path count of 3, hook shot, bombs, that gets you to the courage piece then, right?
Yeah.
So it checks out completely. In that case,
but,
oh my lord, I was right! I knew it! I knew there was one in here. I said it.
Was that courage?
That's got to be courage.
That's got to be courage.
There's no way that's power.
There's no way that's power. That's the only thing I was wrong about, but our courage, what's the difference, That has to be courage, yeah. So then wisdom has to be... Yeah, because neither of those can be 11 paths. That's impossible, so...
Yeah. So I wonder if it's just I wonder if it's in Fire Temple.
Yeah, it could be. I think the critical piece of information that we're missing is what song is on Nocturne. That's really what everything comes down to.
Yeah.
If it's Song of Time, then power's probably going to be in Fire Temple. But if it's Requiem, then it's probably going to be in Spirit Temple.
Yep.
And if it's actually Song of Time, we probably don't need it.
Yep.
Yeah, that's very true. Yeah, I think I mean, if you were a gambling kind of person, I think Fire Temple right now would be a very educated guess.
I think Favio wants to cross here to know what the song is, because if it's either Requiem or Song of Time, that will provide a ton of information about what Nocturne could be, and then he can make his decision based on what the song ends up being, and it's more of an informed decision and less of a gamble.
Right, absolutely.
I'm trying to figure out what the Kokiri Forest path is. Because bow? No.
No, it can't be bow. We're sure of that.
So it was a bow, a slingshot, a scale, and a Goron tunic. Were the 4 items in Kokiri
Should you put a room? No, that's impossible.
It could be for Goron tunic if you have to go to Deep Fire, maybe.
No, this is Path to Courage.
Oh, I don't know anything then.
Yeah.
Very confusing. We'd have to.
Oh, it could be scale for long shot for logical bombs, maybe.
Oh, yeah. That could be it.
For domain
access.
access.
Well, there's that one. Okay. I mean, for Flufluch, the only path right now to win is to finish this entire seat before the time.
Yeah.
There's no other way.
Yeah, but I mean, if Flufluch aggressively goes after the Triforce pieces and follows the GTG route, gets that hammer and bets it all on Fire Temple, it's not impossible.
No.
We'll see what he chooses to do now. He should have the information that he needs to at least head over in the GTG area, because Longshot can really only point to either the Nocturne check or GTG, and GTG's path anyway, so it's a good place to go.
Yep. Flufluch has gathered a lot of information. I mean, he doesn't have any Triforce pieces yet, but he's been busy for an hour. Like,
He's got wisdom now.
oh
He's
yeah,
got
he's got wisdom, but like what I meant more is like, he just got that, but he hasn't been sitting still for that hour. He has gathered up a lot of information, and an experienced run like Flufu, which probably has mapped out quite a lot of information about the seed in his head, and probably has a plan on what he wants to do at this point.
All right, here we go. That is
Great. That clears it up.
Serenade. That. Thanks.
Throw it in the trash. We don't want that.
Well, Favio could elect now to go clear Water Temple and find out what the Prelude song is to potentially further eliminate his possibilities, but it looks like this is going to be a key check in spirit.
Yeah. Because if you're not childlike, then the significances of Requiem being needed kind of go down. I mean, the piece could also just be chilling in child spirit.
I think there's a good question in chat. Sean asks, why is fire more likely for power with all of the shadow stuff on the path? Am I missing something? And then between brackets, yes, I know shadow is foolish.
Yeah, so if Song of Time is on the Nocturne check, then that hammer could potentially be 11 items deep in the seed and be a potential item that is locked by doing the Water Temple and Shadow Temple. We don't know for sure, but there's a decent chance with what we know.
Or Shuriken Spirit.
Interesting.
Interesting, yeah, definitely.
Meaning, essential pillar is probably not required. Well,
This
you don't
is
need
gonna
to do
tell
anything
us a
in spirit.
lot here.
Why do you don't need to do anything in water? Right? Yeah. What am I? No, you don't need to do anything in water.
We need to see if this is a key. Oh, it is a key. Okay.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Child spirit not intensifies.
Oh, the timer is very confused.
Hell Knight.
That's a clipping issue.
A clipping issue.
Oh, okay.
We haven't traveled into negative time. It's just 1 hour.
Yeah, happy 1 hour, everybody.
Oh, the great thing is it doesn't actually make a difference. So it's T-minus 1 hour till the seed ends. So
Yeah.
the only way this launch can be aborted now is by someone finding the third Triforce piece.
Every big chest could potentially be the last check of the seed.
My only gripe with Bob Shoes being in big chest is when it gets down to this and you're looking for the last piece.
Nah.
And you just keep getting Bob Shoes.
No, I think it's great. That's great drama. That's great for restreams. We love that. We love that kind of stuff.
It heightens my anxiety so much.
Good.
I'm like, it's here, isn't it? And I'm like, no, it's just Bob Shoes.
Good. I like that. That's better.
But yeah, keep in mind that as soon as one of these runners gets all 3 Triforce pieces, they are warping straight to the credits. There's no climb. There's no anything extra. If they find that third Triforce piece, it ends immediately. So this big chest here that's coming up, this could be the last check in the seed.
Yeah, I won't lie. I kind of dislike that part of it, but that's a controversial thing. Oh, it's the meme arrows. Great.
It's the meme arrows.
The most useless arrows in the game at this point.
There you go. Right next to the ice. Actually, no, even the ice arrows have more meaning than the light arrows in these settings.
They're both garbage. They're both. You just throw them in the trash, both of them.
Ice arrows are great for when you have to fight Bonko.
Only if you want to meme it. Like, there's no real reason to use them.
True.
But if you do it and you're on restream, the restream will go wild, so it's worth doing.
The chat will go crazy.
Yeah, and so will the. I mean, I will go crazy too. I love that shit. I'm still down to do a tournament one day where you don't win by time, you win by how cool you finish the seed. Like how many tricks you pull off.
How many memes can you pull off in one seed?
Yeah, exactly. And how many like little cool things, like it will be completely arbitrary. There'll be a panel of judges. Like like when people like do a dive and then the judge will like a 10, a 7.5, and a 5 or something to like grade the dive. That's how I want to grade the tricks that people pull off. So you got to think up your own like little cool strategies to make something look cooler than it is.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's what I would like to see. Like like for example, getting 2,000 on like horseback archery, but you just shoot like a machine gun, for example. That would be a lot of points, right? Because that's cool as shit.
Yeah, Torterra, yes. Greg is on 20. So we will not be secret today.
So Fluflush is going to do the maze check here. And the question is, when you get the hammer, then what? Because Fluflush might be tempted to leave, and hopefully he does not leave that Triforce piece behind.
Yeah. Something I have a bad habit to do because I'm not the best at this game, so especially when I'm in races, I always feel I'm behind because I know I'm always behind. I get an item, I will instantly leave sometimes, and it hasn't come back to bite me yet, but I know one day it will.
Oh yeah, that will come back to bite you in the ass one day.
Don't worry, I just like to live life on the edge. I already know I'm not winning any.
Damn right. Fluflush finding the hammer, probably being a little bit dismayed at seeing it. No, I would be.
This could be really close. So let's explore the possibilities for a minute. If Fluflush finds that other Triforce piece in GTG, which seems potentially likely if he doesn't bail, and chooses not to go to Spirit and instead goes directly to Fire, they could both end up being in Fire Temple at very similar times. So it's definitely not over at all.
No, and that's a great thing about Triforce Blitz in general. Is the end of a season in general just a lot more unpredictable. It's really hard to gauge who is really winning and who isn't. Like, sometimes it's obvious, but in this case, it really could be either of them. It's hard to say who's really in the lead here right now.
It's all about going to the right place and finding the pieces. And Favio's committed to Spirit Temple, and if it's not in Spirit Temple, that is about 12 to 15 minutes invested in a dungeon that had nothing, and Fluflush was behind, but if Fluflush goes to the right place without going to Spirit, then that could end up being the difference.
Yeah, and to be clear, 10%, like 12 minutes is 10% of like the entire time a sea can take. It's a lot of time to invest into crossing the wasteland and going here and everything. It's a lot of time.
Fennel wants to know if this fork of the randomizer is open source.
Yes, it is.
It is.
So is the website that we use for it.
Ooh. Oh, the one thing you will also get to know when you do Blitz is how to do the Forest Temple Stalfos with 3 hearts and no shield.
Yeah, that thing, it tends to come up quite often. I've noticed.
I've gotten so good at using Deku Nuts on Stalfos.
Oh, there's the Triforce piece.
Moment of truth right here. What is Fluflush going to do?
Yeah, it was very interesting to see what he will do next.
Oh,
the answer is panic.
The answer is panic.
Fluflush.exe has encountered an unexpected error.
You can see the gears turning here.
Yeah. You can hear his...
it's Forest. He's going Fire.
He's
going
out of
here.
Fire.
Well, he's going out of here at least, that's for sure.
No, surely this is a Fire play, right? And Favio surely is going to be right on his tail.
He has to, because this was a waste of time.
Mm-hmm.
And he's not happy about it. He can be. Like, he invested a lot of time into this in his Spirit Temple. He's not done. He's coming back.
What? Is he just gonna beat it? Like, I think that's the only trick he has left that our child.
Yeah, that's the only thing. Yep. He ain't done yet. There's more to get here.
Are we rushing lax or something?
So I think this is a really risky play because anything this deep in Spirit Temple is gonna always require Mirror Shield, and the fact that Mirror Shield wasn't hinted path in bottom of the well should be really suspicious. Fabio might be going to the sunblock room though.
Oh yeah, I think that's more likely because otherwise, if you're going to the witch, you would not be towing here. Interesting though. Yeah, this is definitely a play for Fire Temple, and Fluflush will be the first to arrive there by, a comfortable minute. Like if Fefio was to go there right now, it would take him about a minute to get there, I think.
Fire Temple.
Fluflush is going to have issues with. Oh, does he have a? Oh, he's got a Goron tunic. Never mind. We got a Goron.
Yeah, we got a Goron tunic in Mido's stack house.
in Mido's warehouse. Let's be real. Let's call it what it is.
Mido really provided today.
Yeah, really did.
You
can't call it a house. That was just a storeroom. You can't live
it was a warehouse. Yeah, I think this is the first time since like the start of S5 I have seen Mido's house that stacks.
Favio is entering into information paralysis mode.
Yeah,
Is Fabio going to do Burning Cack?
I think yes.
I think Favio is going all in for the logically required Nocturne play, or just ignoring what I'm saying entirely.
No, Fabio also could just
Definitely
be
going
seeing
in.
what's on Prelude.
Oh, he doesn't have irons. He's doing gold scale entry.
Indeed, he is. He's just going straight for Morpha, I think. And then
well, it's Baron, and he could also just be seeing what's on Prelude to help.
Could be a Prelude, and
what
otherwise
is.
he could go on for Nocturne still. Like it's not like the options are mutually exclusive. Makes sense to start here though.
Yeah, this is your quicker of your two.
Yeah, and you get a song regardless, so it just makes more sense.
Were we hammer locked out of fire? I wasn't paying attention. I think we were.
I think so, yeah. But I wasn't paying attention either. But to sound potentially smart, I'm going to say that we are hammer locked, and then when it's true, I can be like, "See, I told you so." And if it's not the case, then I'll be like, "Oh, I wasn't really paying attention either."
Floosh didn't even go check. Okay, Floosh just went straight for the boss key loop. Yeah. Which is not a bad play. Because you're gonna have to end up doing it like...
like I said, I wasn't really paying attention, so it's fine.
So Floosh is thinking that if this Triforce piece is hammer locked, then any check that's locked by hammer is fair game. So going straight for those 2 checks is a potential place to find the Triforce piece. So why not go straight?
Yeah, but what I like doing is seeing if this is hammer locked or not.
It's not hammer locked.
We're not. So in
yet.
my mind, yeah, and I'm like, okay, I need to go check further to see what exactly is hammer locked in fire.
You can't go straight to Ovaja at this point as well, right? Like that's not an issue. Yeah. No, Botskis, man, it's a good feeling.
Evolve.
Have you ever seen Water Temple go this fast before? I don't think you have.
It's almost as fast as Go Mode Deku.
Oh, yeah, no, I think it's faster, isn't it?
Is it faster?
You just
we
would have to time it, but I think it's close.
Walking into Deku.
No, it has to be faster because you don't have to do the whole reflecting the nuts and stuff. You just
that is
you hook
true.
shot in, you swim in, you go up, you hook shot to the platform, you run to Morph and you kill her. It's like it's straight on. There's like no obstacles. Cat seems to agree with me. They would do full Vaja first here.
Now, this is going to be back of lake hints for Favio. I think he's trying to find what the Nocturne song is.
When do you see this in standards?
Triforce is also the Way of the Wanderer.
Well, that's without Mido's house, surprise.
It's for that Goron tunic.
It's for that warehouse.
For one of 10 things in Kokiri Forest.
Yeah, exactly.
I wonder if that Wanderer's for the Goron tunic.
I think so, yeah.
Wait, we can go higher in fire without the hammer.
Uh-huh.
Oh,
that's actually scary for Floosh.
That is scary.
That's not good.
Oh, it's fucking
time.
Oh my lord.
Oh.
So
could
that
it be
means
GTG
it's either
then?
toilet or in Fire Temple, right?
Yeah, it has to be one of those two.
Ooh, Fabio,
if it's toilet, which was what I said at the start, I'm going to be so happy.
I even mentioned it's probably in the toilet.
There's a very good chance. Because then I would double right. I said the Triforce of Power would be in GTG. Yeah. That was my call earlier. And I would double right because there's 2 pieces there.
Someone ping Dastar, please. I need to disappoint him twice when it's not in the toilet again.
Honestly, I think if for the first Triforce Blitz showcase match to end with a Triforce piece in the toilet, I think would be poetic and very funny.
Y'all should have just planned out this and put these in the worst places possible.
Well, I definitely would not have planned out a hard required Baron Shadow in my Triforce Blitz showcase.
No. If we planned out this, we would have planned it in such a way that it would have looked like the showcase Triforce Blitz in its most in its best form.
Yeah, I'm really hoping it's in fire because otherwise we're going to see double Shadow Temple.
Yeah, and no one wants that. Can we just remove Shadow Temple from Triforce Blitz now? Actually, let's just do that instead.
Yeah, that's how I handle balance changes. I just I don't like this. It made me lose.
The balance changes at Triforce Blitz is just however Elagatua feels about a dungeon in a given week.
I wonder why Fabio is in Child Spirit. You figured out it was Song of Time, so why are you in Child Spirit?
Fabio is hard committed to Spirit, and I respect it, okay?
True, yeah.
I respect it. This is dedication.
I think he just maybe feels like he's in too deep and he's got to see this through. But surely with all those paths pointing to Shadow, he's got to know that the hammer has to, or almost certainly the hammer is going to come into play at some point.
I couldn't agree more, Sean. Just remove Jabu.
Because
the one
don't even
time-
make the fish spawn. It's not just. It's just
Yeah.
not there at all. You just get two dungeon rewards at the start.
The one time Jabu is path, it's always on Baronade, and it's always something stupid.
God.
We got a big chest here, by the way.
Yeah, I was about to say. Also, this is just not going great for Fabio. We're in Spirit Temple when we shouldn't be, and we're being punished by a horrible time.
This is the worst feeling because he's getting his hopes up right now, but I just don't think this is it.
Yeah.
Watch this be bomb choose.
Watch this be a Triforce piece.
It's bombs.
The
Oh,
bomb bag.
You were close with the bomb choose, but you know 3 letters too much.
Yeah. No one
Well,
should get these castles.
it's not over. Fabio could go fire and go straight to Volve and still have a shot at it.
Yep. Yeah.
Ooh, flu pixel shotting here.
I mean, it could still be very much inside of the toilet. So I don't want to see this over one way or another.
I know this is a hotly debated topic, but I have heard so many people advocate for free Scarecrow in these settings.
It is something that I had never thought about prior to like 2 weeks ago, and probably after the tournament, it's something I'll revisit. It's like at the top of the list for like things that I probably want to think about.
It's definitely a season 2 thing. It's not something I think for season 1.
But it's definitely a good idea, and it's ignorance on my part for why it wasn't included.
I think it's good. I don't think you want to stray to nice pixel shot. I just don't think you want to stray too far from standard, right? For now.
So where is Fabio going? This is Iron Boots. Maybe this is like a commitment to toilet play.
Yeah,
Maybe
I think
that's
if toilet is required, then these boots are going to be very useful.
Well, that essentially means Fabio is going to commit to doing Shadow right here.
I think what Fabio has probably put together by now is that Flufflush is almost certainly in Fire Temple, and if that's what's going on right now, then I imagine Fabio's well aware he's lost already anyway, so he's gambling probably pretty hard on the toilet at this point, which I would say is not a bad idea.
Fire Temple not having anything, and I think Flufflush is key locked.
Ooh,
Should have gone for Vajra.
Wow, that's really inconvenient. Although I think he can open the shortcut, so it's not horrible. But that's kind of why it can be a good idea to do Volvagia before climbing.
It's so quick. Why wouldn't you?
Oh, maybe there's a key over here. We'll see.
Yeah.
Flooflish seems to think so.
I feel like we've been here before.
No,
There's a key.
Just kidding.
Yeah, Fabio is going to off to Shadow.
Never unlucky. Yeah, I think Fabio has probably put in his head, like, the Flufflush has to be in Fire Temple by now, and if he is, I've lost anyway. So, like, if it's there, obviously. So, his gamble is probably going to be the toilet. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's fine. Given the circumstances, like, that's probably the only path to winning that he has left. So,
Yeah,
why not sell out for it?
absolutely. Yeah. Like, Fabio, I think, knows Flufflush well enough to know that Flufflush is not in a position where he isn't even, like thinking of a way to finish the seat off either, so these two players are probably well aware that they're probably just, this is their how would you put it, the strategy to their victory.
Ooh, Fire not having a lot of things, and we're up in deep Fire now.
And I think I will say this kind of this meta gaming comes up a lot more prevalently in Triforce Blitz, especially because of the 2-hour time limit. So these kinds of decisions start becoming a lot more important.
Big chest.
Oh, I spoke too soon.
Oh, that's Monka right there.
Oh,
and
we don't
Flooflish has no way to get up there.
Yeah.
Not from here at least. Got to go the long way around.
Yeah.
It's okay. But that could be
Even
it
if
right there.
First.
That just could be it right there.
I think there's a trick enabled that allows you to hit that switch without Song of Time, right?
Yeah. Absolutely.
You have to
can
be on
just
top
jump
of the
slash it.
platform.
Yeah. Yeah, you have
Yeah,
to go
so-
all the way up, but yeah, it's ooh. Yeah.
Oh,
Flufus,
Flufus,
don't die to the door.
Don't die. Don't die. He's got half a heart.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
spooky.
who was it that died to the door? I have that clip. somewhere.
Almost Fluflush.
Was it Dotso? I have a feeling it was Dotso.
Oh my gosh, it's a big chest in Barren Shadow.
No,
Oh my
wow.
god. Ah!
On brand.
Why is that in a big chest? Elagatua,
Zopar? Okay.
answer yourself, please. Why is that a big chest?
Because it was like that before. Don't blame me.
Next patch, it's removed.
Alright, it was Zopar that died to this door.
Oh, Zopar? Why am I not surprised?
I think it was
Very
during an
smart.
RSL.
He's coming out for the heart.
Yeah, I think it was an RSL seed or something, and there was like probably a bunch of damage stacked on. It was a one-hit KO seed. Thank you, Chuckles.
You wouldn't know where the grottos are. Thank you, Mr. Mar. That's a very good point. How would we find the grottos without the Stone of Agony? It's impossible. They hidden. It's like, how do you beat Shadow Temple without the Lens of Truth? The path is invisible. You know, you can't do it.
I swear, it's gonna be bomb shoes and highest guard. It's gonna be something stupid up there.
Yeah, ice arrows.
It's ice arrows. We'll hit arrow percent before we find the last Triforce piece, right?
I like that arrow percent's now a thing. All the arrows are kind of just, you know, fire arrows might sometimes be useful.
Oh my god,
but-
he nearly died. Alright, here it is. Moment of truth.
Moment of
Drum roll,
truth, this could be it. And it's...
Oh no!
Oh,
It's not here!
it's not. Oh,
It could still be Volve. It could still be Volve.
it
Could
could still be
be.
Volve. Yeah,
I don't
I
think that's
think
likely.
I think Flush is realizing that it's.
I think Fabio is looking really strong suddenly.
Is
Yeah.
Volve a key? I don't know.
Me and Fire Temple Logic aren't the bestest of friends.
Ella,
so.
I just have to ask, Ella. These seeds were like the seed we chose was fitted, right? Like we had someone pick this for us because we thought it would be a good seed.
So what I did is I rolled 5 seeds randomly and I gave them to a trusted individual to pick one.
I have to ask. You rolled 5 seeds, and the seed that was chosen had a Baron with Quiet Shadow Temple and a Blitz seed. How
And a
terrible were
Baron.
the other 4?
Well, so hilariously enough, the initial 5 that I rolled got all rejected, and we had to roll a second set of 5, which is very rare because Blitz seeds, by and large, end up being pretty consistently not terrible. And
They
if
were
they're
all
terrible, then they're
21
over after 2 hours, so it still ends up being okay.
Oh my
Um,
god.
So
They were all
it was-
21 steps or
I mean,
something.
it was kind of
like that.
crazy. Like all of them had like 18 plus path counts.
Oh, there it is. Yeah. I still
Oh
remember
my
that 21 step seed. Oh,
You can like Triforce Blitz is not immune to generating monstrosities. They're less likely for sure, but
I mean, it's
21
okay because of the time limit. If you
Yeah, that's-
generate a monstrosity and you get absolutely destroyed, you're still out of there after 2 hours. You're not stuck with it. So it's okay if that happens.
yeah. Those 2 hours can still feel like a long time though if the first 2 Triforce pieces are really early.
oh! I just realized I haven't changed my nickname back from this channel from the charity race.
It's alright. You're my emotional support shark, that's fine.
Thank you.
Well, now what?
I think we just yeah.
I think we sit through Foolish Shadow Temple.
Why? I'm
And
going to have
hope and
words with
pray.
the person who selected this.
We should have
And we
rolled another
hope-
5 seeds. Clearly. I have to know what the other 4 seats were that were up for selection that this was chosen over them. Because interesting
like-
choice to be sure.
Yeah, I actually probably wouldn't mind playing those other 4 seeds. If this one is the terriblest, or not the terriblest, if this one was
the best
the
one
bestest,
actually.
it was the bestest of all of them. I want to kind of play the other ones now.
Make those the asyncs.
I can't believe that we're actually having a Baron Shadow being cleared. I've literally never seen this before in
Me
probably
neither.
like 80
Yeah.
Blitz seeds. It's never happened. This is the
Yeah,
first time.
I've
Yeah.
seen like over 50 Blitz seats,
See-
and this has never happened.
My mantra for Blitz is Rush Shadow. So that tells you how often I get Triforce Blitz Triforce pieces in Shadow so often.
Yeah, but a required Baron Shadow, how often does that happen to you?
Not.
Yeah, not right, exactly. That doesn't happen very often. Like Baron Shadow, sure, but required Baron Shadow, this is literally the first time I've seen it ever.
Well, the good thing is you don't have to go to the back of Shadow.
I don't know. I don't know, Ella. I think there's a strong argument being made for enabling the shortcut in this dungeon suddenly.
Nah, this is a 1 in 80 chance of happening based on what we've seen so far. I'm kind of wondering if it wouldn't be something totally nuts like something in the DMC Fairy, like maybe Strength 3 or something ridiculous, or just something that we're not expecting. It's so clear that Song of Time is required, and it's remarkable that it's not Hammer. I would be so destroyed by this seed if I was playing it.
Yeah, this is a rough one. Honestly, we're kind of saying like, well, if this is the seed that was chosen, this is an interesting seed for sure, though. Like logically, there's a lot going on here, so I have fun commentating over this. I do want to bring attention to Fluflush, who is in completely the wrong zone right now.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think Fluflush knows that it's Song of Time, though, because
No, he
that
doesn't.
hit the back of Lake.
That hint is, yeah. Wait, no, that hint is right outside, isn't it?
Right outside Spirit?
Yeah.
The spirit hit. No, the spirit hit is Jabu. Jabu is foolish.
Oh, okay. All right. I thought it was right outside. Why do I think it's right outside? I feel like. No, I don't know.
The only hint we found for Nocturne is the one in back of Lake.
All right, chat. We need to use our powers of deduction and collaborate and figure out how many items deep we are behind Shadow Temple, because
let me pull up this note sheet.
Are there more things after Song of Time that we could need, or is Song of Time 11?
All right, so I've got long shot, so two hook shots, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nocturne.
Mm-hmm, of course.
Hovers.
Of course, yes.
Dins.
Yeah, of course.
I don't. Oh,
That's
no,
five.
no. Is Magic Path or not? This is a question.
I don't think so.
Magic was in a Wanderer location.
Yeah,
so-
Magic was in a Wanderer's location. So
but that
I
doesn't
don't-
have to be what it was aiming for, right? It could have also just been for the strength.
Right.
Yeah.
So we're at 5.
We're guaranteed at 5, but that's always the case in this scenario.
Yeah. To get Burning Cat, you need irons as well,
Yeah.
which is locked by beans.
Mm-hmm.
So locked by either a scale or bomb bag. Right.
I don't think that the bomb bag can ever be path, because I think that the GTG bomb bag and the Child Spirit one are both available technically.
Yeah, they are. Which is
Okay,
weird.
so-
Yeah.
So the irons, so the beans aren't locked by anything then.
No.
Okay, so
Right,
then
because
we're
we
at
have
6.
scales early.
So we're at 6
Mm-hmm.
right now.
Yeah, Song of Time obviously is 7.
7.
Mm-hmm. Has to be.
All right, chat. What are we missing? We're at 7. Obviously, we're missing something. Oh, we need ZL to beat Shadow.
Oh, and actually 8. Okay, good point.
So
good
we're
point.
at 8.
We need the hammer for the fire temple, right? Wait, fire's not
We
required.
did-
right?
yeah, we
No,
didn't
sorry,
get
I'm talking nonsense. Ignore me.
Yeah. We're at 8. The hooks were both Sphere Zero.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not the actually no! The long shot was in Zora's domain.
Right.
So that's
The yellow
Scale.
already counted that one. Yeah.
technically it's scale locked.
I don't know. I guess my brain hurts already, so I'm going to let you figure it out, okay?
I think
So
it's
we're
pretty unlikely to be bottom of the well, or sorry, to be light trial, because if it's light trial, then bottom of the well should be double path.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true.
So we're still at 8, possibly 9.
Yeah, so it might not be toilet. It could be toilet, but it might not be. Actually, the more I think about it, the less likely it seems.
Well, also depending on that magic, I don't think the magic's path.
No, it's not.
Magic could put it at 10.
Oh no.
Oh.
Fluflush being me.
Oof.
This seed is quickly becoming somewhat of a disaster for Fluflush, which is very
Is
sad.
Zora
It's a
Tunic
disaster for
required
everybody
for
right now.
toilet?
Oh, Vavio is about to kill Bongo Bongo, so we're almost out of this place. It was pretty fast Shadow Temple, honestly.
Is a Zora Tunic required to kill Bongo Bongo? Or not to kill? Not to. Wow. I mean, Zora Tunic required for toilet.
No, not logically.
Okay. I'm like, I English.
Silly shark. Only ice arrows are required for Bongo Bongo.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what this is out of logic, to be clear. So we need to add that one up to the path count for power ice arrows to beat this. I'm kidding, of course.
Yeah.
The fight is now underwater. You just swim upwards, so you need the iron boots and the Zora tunic to beat this. That'd be interesting.
Cola is saying letter. Ooh, if letter is in toilet, then ooh.
Uh-oh.
That works out, actually.
A letter.
That's disgusting, but that works out.
Yeah, I don't want that.
Boomerang.
Stop.
and-
I don't know. I don't
Stop
want to
it.
hear it. I don't want to hear it. Stop it. It's in toilet, okay? The Triforce
Chat.
is in toilet.
What's funny is that we've been so lost this seed, and yet if it actually is letter in toilet, then Favio's still going to have enough time to finish this before the time limit hits.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I think Favio will finish this almost guaranteed.
What item could be in the toilet besides Rudo's letter at this point?
I don't think anything.
Yeah, I don't think so either. Path-wise, or path count-wise, it does add up. Ice Cabin could easily squeeze in there into 11.
That is true. It's
No?
it's the fire arrows to do Shadow Trial 2.
No, we got long shot and hovers a long time ago, so that one is
True.
doable a different way.
Come on, Ella, let us dream. Let us believe.
dream of
I mean,
Shadow
we're already
Trial 2.
dreaming of. We've been dreaming a lot this seed. Foolish Shadow for what we think may be totally skippable Rudo's letter in toilet. That's our current theory. Like, wow.
That's not a dream, that's a nightmare.
Fabio, where are you going?
I mean, you have to dream to have a nightmare.
Are you going to beat Spirit?
No, he's going to GDG, of course.
Oh.
It's the fastest way.
Oh, yeah, this is faster. All right.
Yeah,
someone
reverse
please.
Reverse wait time's the fastest way. Yeah.
Oh no, he doesn't have some time yet.
No, he picked it up.
Oh, did
Yeah,
you?
yeah,
Oh, never
yeah,
mind.
don't worry. Yeah.
I get so
Fake
much
news in the
credit for
chat.
this.
Fake news in the chat. You baited me.
Damn it, chat.
I can do reverse wasteland. I cannot do wasteland forward without a lens.
Me too. That is unironically. I have the
people-
same
and
issue. I can't do
people-
it.
Yeah, and people give me shit for it. They're like, it's literally the same exact thing, just in opposite
Don't
directions.
worry.
and I'm
I
like,
understand. I feel
I
your
don't know
pain.
why.
I actually have had the same problem, and I'm actually terrified to do a wasteland the normal way because there's like the last little section. I avoided out at least like two or three times.
Oh yeah.
every
Yeah,
now
that's the
and then.
problem.
It's
The
terrifying.
rest is easy, but that part, I don't know. I don't know what's going on there.
Alright, someone get Dastar, because Dastar will be either really happy or really sad here in a few minutes. Dastar is our resident toilet enthusiast on this
That's
channel.
something. Man, I thought I had it bad as a Force Temple enthusiast.
Well, yeah, he's also the chief meme officer for this channel, so
Chief meme officer.
Chief meme officer.
Oh god, don't die, don't die, don't die. Dead.
Oh god! Oh, this is becoming a right disaster. I mean, it already was, but it's becoming just worse and worse.
Time to leave.
Oh.
This is the game telling you that this is not where you should be. But Fluke's just a stubborn person. He's like, nah, I'm not done with this place. Spirit Temple does not kick me out. I kick Spirit Temple out. That's his mentality right now.
Twin Rova doesn't troll me. I troll Twin Rova.
Twin Rova's like, he's back again? What? Imagine Fluke just fucking goes to ice there.
You
That
know
would be
what? I
hilarious.
would be so mad if it is Rudo's letter and it's an ice cavern, because you know what you could have done this whole time.
Yeah, you could have this sea could have been
Could've
over
just
in
bleeped
under
it.
an hour. Yeah.
Yep. You could have just bleep skipped.
And the best thing about it is that if we had tried to like count the paths earlier on, we probably could have figured out that Song of Time is still a few items short.
Yeah.
And so maybe like Hammer wouldn't even have been enough.
Yeah, true. Definitely true.
All right, here we go.
Here we go. Yeah, moment of truth.
Chat, spam the toilet icon in the chat. I know it's not Dins,
Any
but it's
toilets
close
in the
enough.
chat? My lord.
Yeah,
Any
but the
toilets
Silver
in
Gauntlets.
chat?
The Silver Gauntlets has a toilet emote.
I love that. That's great.
Yeah.
That's really good.
I forget the seed.
What's
There was a
happening to the
seed-
toilet though? Something is falling in it.
Dins. One of the seeds really infamous was Dins. Dins was in the toilet.
Oh, that's amazing! I
That
didn't
is
know
what
the
that
Silver
emote's
Golem
based
had
off
this
of.
high tier emotes.
We
That's
have
fantastic.
great quality emotes.
We're running out of time on this toilet. The Zora tunic is being equipped.
Fabio's got what he needs.
I repeat, it's
Oh,
being
oh,
Oh, wait, what?
I have questions.
So now it could be Rudo's on that DMC check.
Nantakota.
What is some?
Hello, what?
Hello? Yeah.
Yeah. Hello?
Oh, that's right. The Death Mountain Crater Fairy is hammerlocked.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay, sure, but...
It's a little late to be checking this.
A little, yeah, but I mean,
A
at this
little
point,
late.
what do you do at this point? This scene has gotten really weird now.
And Dastar once again being disappointed. I summoned him to do the toilet check, and it's not even a big chest this time. At least last time it was a big chest.
We didn't even get baited. It was just like, yeah, it's not even big.
I got
Get out of
baited.
here,
It was-
loser.
Yeah, I got baited. It was double defense in the toilet.
Okay, so we got to use process of elimination here because there's not a whole lot of things that are possible.
No.
So we know it's not toilet, so it can only be Song of Time for the hammer because that's the only thing that we've seen that's been locked behind Song of Time.
Yes.
We've also seen all of Fire Temple, and we've seen all the other hammerlock checks in the game, except for one
Valley.
that one of our runners happened to walk directly by. So
No, Valley
you
was
got to
wallet.
check Valley. Oh.
No, Valley was the wallet.
Oh, okay.
We checked Valley. Hammer Rocks.
Okay,
It was his
okay,
wallet.
okay. Thank God. I panicked there for a moment, but you saved it. Thank you.
Yeah, we all. I think everyone here has at least once skipped that check. If you race Zooter, you've at least once skipped that check. That's been your downfall.
Yeah, for sure.
there could be, I mean,
I think Purple
I
might be
wonder
onto
if
something.
I still have some ideas, but it's got to be that one hammer check. And
It has
maybe
to be.
Fabio is going to get that and solve the puzzle.
It's an interesting route to get to the ferry from like this. I will say that much. Oh, he doesn't have minuets. Yeah, no wonder you do it like this then.
What if it's just like claim check or something stupid?
Oh, yeah, at least you can go turn it on right away.
Oh, yeah.
It's right next door. You were only 5 seeds, but the first 5 weren't awful enough. Yeah, maybe the person didn't get the instructions completely correctly, Ella, and you told him to give him the worst seed possible. And like, the first 5 just aren't bad enough, man.
No, don't go to Fire Temple. There's
Uh-oh.
something you're forgetting.
Yeah, well,
Uh,
oh no.
you think any of them are going to finish?
At this point, I think it's unlikely.
I mean, Fluflush has a chance now because there's going to be no more checks left in Spirit Temple, and then what do you do?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, true. Do Water and Shadow, probably.
Well, but there's not enough time to do both of them, so I think Fluflush might be in a situation where you might just go ice because that's the only dungeon you can actually check where it could be in the time that you have left.
Yeah, I think at this point I agree with you. I would just be looking at like, okay, how much time do I have left? What dungeons can it not be in? And I'd just be going to the dungeons that it can be in and just fucking going for it.
If it is an ice, this seed has once again proven to rush ice.
Yeah.
No matter what settings you're playing.
Certain
always
person I know will be
rush
very pleased with this that outcome.
Especially when your ice cavern is path, I will just drop everything as soon as I get hover boots and go to ice cavern.
Why are people so obsessed with a garbage dungeon anyway? I don't get it. What's the joke?
Because it's quick. I like it because it's quick, easy, and half the time I know I'm going to get Nocturne there knowing that I need to go.
But it has slippery ice thingies and it has rocks you can push, though you shouldn't. But then you have to do annoying skips. I don't like Ice Cavern. I think it's terrible. But I don't play around though, so don't mind my opinion either way.
I also spent like 2 hours one day practicing my ground jumps in there. So I like always want to go there to.
Oh yeah, you can
show off the
QXD
work I
skip.
did.
You can do that in standard too. That's not unique to Blitz.
Well, what does Fluflush do when there's nothing here? Where is Fluflush even? Oh, he's going to check the mirror shield because he died on the silver knuckle.
Mm.
So he is. Hopefully he doesn't die again. Give me a heart attack, honestly.
I have such a hard time with the adult iron knuckle fight, but I can do the child one.
Oh, just run at the feet and start stabbing. It usually works. And when it doesn't work, I just get really upset and I blame the game for being stupid. How couldn't it be me?
All right, Fluflush, what's the play?
Jump. He's just jumping off. He's done. I don't know what is the play at this point, Ella.
Well, I mean,
He doesn't know either. He's not playing anything.
Yeah, I mean, if you're trying to think about it logically, I think there's only one play because you know you can't get to toilet in time. So if it's there, then you're kind of stuck. So you could try to go back to DMC to do that hammerlock check, or you could just go ice and say like, I'm out of.
This looks like an ice play.
It could also be a crater play.
Yeah, could be.
But I think either one is probably going to lead us to ice because the only way that I can understand the seed is if it's exactly Rudo's letter on DMC Fairy. That's the only thing that makes all of this make sense.
The only thing, yeah, I think it has to be. Because path-wise, the count-wise doesn't add up otherwise.
Yeah, DMC Fairy for Rudo's, which is leading to a Triforce piece in Ice Cavern.
And can I say that was a nice...
Sorry, go ahead.
I was going to say that's a nice Volve fight with shoes.
It was nice, yeah.
I can't do... I struggle with doing quick Volve, so...
Don't worry, it's practice.
It's always practice. I still can't get HBA 1000 yet, and I'm still working on it.
Oh, don't worry, I can do that either.
Yeah, this is looking like ice.
It's definitely ice, yeah. What else would you be doing in this situation other than ice? Checking fountain, maybe, but then you would go ice anyway. Fluflush might win here, actually.
Yeah, certainly looking like it. I mean, when all else fails.
Well, let's go over the options. Deku Tree, highly unlikely.
No, straight up.
No, there's no way.
Yeah.
Forest
Temple? Also no.
In logic,
Definitely
very
no.
early.
Fire we know is not it. Water isn't it. Shadow can't be it. Spirit isn't it. Jabu isn't it. So ice has to be it, right? It can be GTG maybe. There's quite a few checks we haven't checked there.
No, we've seen everything in GTG.
Have we even the back area with the likes?
I believe so.
I could be Jabu if Rudo's letter is Hammerlock.
No, Jabu is foolish, right? So there can be a Triforce piece in there.
Oh, right. That was a very smooth King's War skip.
But either way, like deep GTG is actually not that deep in the logic either, because we have logical GTG access and we have 2 logical strings.
Yeah, you're right. It has to be ice. There's no other option. Like just process of elimination. Everything else is just in Ganon's Castle. Maybe no, I don't think so either.
Ganon's Castle's open way too early.
Yeah, and like nothing in there requires that deep of a path count anyway.
Yeah, unless it's strength 3, but that doesn't make sense. With the hints.
It's very hard for it to be strength 3, because if it's strength 3, then that means that both of those strength upgrades in bottom of the well are path, because if you need to go to light trial, every single strength upgrade is hard required.
Yep.
So we don't have any paths, I don't think, for bottom of the well.
None.
So it's straight
and
up
that's a dungeon, right? So that would be hinted high up in the chain.
Yes, you would guaranteed to be able.
That
to
would be
get
over Valley for
well.
sure. Like Valley would instantly be dropped out in favor of that one, surely. So, is it? Well, we'll find out in a moment.
Yeah, we're gonna know real soon. Real soon.
Yeah, forest is not that. Not forest. Ice is not that long.
I hate that you can't see the chest from this angle yet. Oh, he's baiting us. He's not letting us see.
Oh, we're gonna freeze the bugs.
Is that like big or small?
Small.
That looks small.
That's small. Yeah, okay. Compass room then maybe. This is why I like CSMC, because you can just do this so much quicker.
Yeah. I don't think I can go back to doing GTG without chest size match.
Look, the ice keys. Oh my god, this is such an awful dungeon. I don't understand why anyone likes it. Ice keys just make me want to...
Hashtag delete keys. Period. It don't matter if it's fire, ice, or normal keys. Just
I propose a different thing. I think we should replace all keys in the game with ice keys.
I think we should just do key sanity.
Key sanity.
That is a thing.
Replace all enemies in the game for ice keys.
Yeah, key sanity is every time there is a key that spawns, it is...
That's no. Okay.
It is randomly chosen.
Oh, that's not a big chest either.
Ooh.
We're going all the way.
We do have the spoiler log for this, right?
Only 2 Triforce pieces placed in the seed.
It's a bug seed. That's why it was picked.
Do we have the spoiler log for this?
We do.
We do,
Okay.
yes, we do.
Okay, I'm like, we don't find this piece.
I don't imagine the person that vetted the seeds has played all of them. Imagine they judge by the spoiler log.
Yes, we have the spoiler log for sure.
Okay.
Maybe they should have played them though.
I don't think it could be the horse.
The horse does not lock any dungeon checks in this particular seed.
No.
No. And there's no way it could be a horse and another item.
You're like, oh, there it is. Huh?
I'm sorry, what?
Huh? Oh my
What?
god, he never
Oh,
checked that! I just
shit,
remembered!
Oh!
What?
He never checked it. I actually wanted to mention this. I saw him go to the back, like to the small key in that prison, and I saw the floor wasn't open. But I figured like he didn't need it, or he peeked it from like below. I was gonna mention, but you guys were talking, so I was like, oh whatever. I completely forgot. It was right there.
Oh my god.
Oh no.
No.
Oh no.
Oh,
It could have
That
been
is-
the ultimate comeback, and he walked right past it.
Past
He
it.
went right past it. This could have been over like half an hour ago. Oh no.
Oh no. Oh no, no,
It's the
no.
fire shortcut. Oh, it's the cracked floor above the boulder maze.
I
Oh my
actually, you
God.
know what? I noticed that too.
You
Now that
you
you're
noticed it
saying
too, right? Yeah.
He didn't open it up. He went and got the key.
I figured he peeked it. Yeah, I figured he peeked it. It's like, oh well, if he's skipping that, there has to be a good reason for that. I was gonna
have
bring it
a-
up like, oh, you see Floof is skipping it, so he must have peeked it, so we know there's nothing there.
Okay, I will. I'll pull up the spoiler log and I'll read off the paths for everybody. How about that?
I mean, at this point, it's not really necessary anymore, but sure.
Well,
now it
I
all
mean,
makes sense.
Floofoosh is going to be very lost here in a second.
Oh yeah. A good time that anyone can make mistakes. Of course. I mean, we see that all the time in all settings.
Oh wow. So turns out Rudo's letter was in GTG in those aforementioned behind silver blocks checks. So we could have known that the ice was dead.
But we didn't see the light room then, I was correct.
You were correct, and if we had seen it, we would have known that it couldn't have been ice.
I would have remembered that.
They both bailed out of GTG after getting the piece.
Yeah, I thought so. That's what I thought. All right, well.
Well then.
I'm really sorry, but I must apologize. This kind of dragged out a bit more than I expected. I really have to go.
That is fine. I will handle the tournament information for all of you who have suffered through this seed that
now there's going to be an interview, right?
40 minutes ago.
Or do we not do interviews in the Silver Gauntlets?
No, we do plenty of interviews. Someone just has to ask in the race room.
Right. Well, I'll leave it at that because otherwise it's just going to get super crowded in here anyway. But it was super fun, and thank you very much. And yeah, tournaments.
Thank you for
Spoilers.
commentating.
Oh, trust me, it was my pleasure. I've been waiting for this for months. I was so hyped. I was so hyped. All right. Thank you very much, guys. Bye-bye.
Wait.
All right. So maybe we can get the stream transitioned over to the kind of the post-race images, and I'll go through the tournament information. I'll give our glorious restreamer a second here to get caught up because I know it's been what a seed that we experienced here.
What a seed!
Yeah, I mean, so for what it's worth, are we going to do an interview? I hadn't planned on it. We can pull them in if you want. But this it kind of goes to show in Triforce Blitz, like Fluflush, even if he hadn't, even if he never finds that piece in fire because he walked right past it, he would have only been stuck playing the seed for another 10 minutes. So it's kind of like the kill switch that is the time limit. It bails you out if you've done something horribly wrong, and allows you to move on with your life. Because there's really nothing worse than playing like 3.5 hours only to know that you looked at a big chest and you thought it was small and it had your thing. So it's there for your quality of life, and protects you in seeds where you do something wrong.
People want to know where the other magic was.
Okay, I need a minute to pull up the spoiler log.
No, that's fine. That's fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
And while we're doing that, let's take this time to thank everybody who has made this restream possible. To bring y'all this showcase match, exhibition match, what do you call it? Both?
Everything.
Everything. So, of course, shout out to our runners for running these glorious, awesome settings that I have fallen in love with. Favio 9414 and Fluflush 1994. To our trackers, Chuckles and Baseball, and I think Tobias is on the note sheet. To my lovely co-coms, the Spell, who left, and I never know how to say your name.
E.
E! E, yeah. And of course, thank you, Hell Knight, for restreaming this. And E, thank you for making these settings. Like I said, I've fallen in love with these settings.
It's been an absolute blast, and it took months of slowly iterating on these, doing the development, doing bug fixes, being scared when you play a seed that you think is impossible and thinking that there's a bug in your code, and then apologizing to people, and then realizing that actually the seed was that bad and it's not actually a bug. Pulling in new ideas, having people give feedback. It's been kind of a collaborative effort, and to Cohesion as well, who put in a tremendous amount of effort to build the amazing Blitz website and the patcher that makes it super easy to build seeds without having to download like your own fork of the code. So that a lot of people have contributed, and it's only the beginning because we are going to have much more Blitz action, much more Triforce Blitz action coming up in the following weeks as we get this tournament started. But first, before we get into the tournament, we got Fluflush in here, and maybe we'll get Favio shortly after. But welcome, Fluflush. Kind of a tough one. You did pretty much everything right except for one thing.
Hello, everyone. So yeah, it seems that I have delayed the end of the stream, but yeah, sorry for that. That's fire shortcut.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think I didn't pay attention to the chest at all when I was in there, and then when I climbed it on the top, I assumed that there was a key, just a key because I have all the items, but it doesn't write because since the BK is missing, is removed, there is one extra check compared to standard. So
Yeah.
I didn't take that into account.
I mean, we've all been there. I think What the Hell's famously had something happen similar to this in the season 5 tournament. So it can happen to everybody. But I guess my question for you is more about the logic of the seed, because for a while at the beginning, we were all very sure that the Triforce piece was going to be in Shadow Temple, and then suddenly Shadow Temple was foolish. What did you think about that?
Yeah, that was very useful, the foolish hint, because we knew that it had to be a song behind it. And so when I'm counting the items we need, so it might be like a Requiem or Song of Time of another song, I don't know which, but at least most probably Requiem or Song of Time. And when I found the hammer in GTG, it was very suspicious to me. That was very suspicious, and I tried to count fast. So yeah, I made up to to get the 11 path items counting the hammer. But I think I need to not count magic as path. I think there is another magic available. And moreover, we had 2 strength as well, which might be the wonder item that has been hinted. And because there was 2 strengths, so whatever you take, the one or the other, it can be path. And so you just need one. But Storm is still path because maybe the first strength is behind these 2 strengths. And so whatever the strength you can take, as Storm is required still. And so that's how I've interpreted the Song of Sorcerer's path.
Did you ever find a hint for Song of Time on the Nocturne check?
Yeah, I don't think so. That was clearly missing, and it was so important to know. But
Yeah, the only copy we found was in Back of Lake.
okay. Fabio had it, I guess.
Yeah, Fabio went and got that one.
It was important to note, yeah.
And welcome in, Fabio. GG's.
Hello? GG, Fabio.
GG's.
So, Fabio, I know you haven't been watching the stream like us, but unfortunately, Fluflush did Fire Temple at around the 1 hour, 15-minute mark and walked right by the big chest in the Fire Temple shortcut and thought it was a small chest. And so and I think none of us realized it in the restream either. And so we were very sure that it was going to be like Rudo's letter in toilet until it wasn't. But you made your way to Fire Temple in the end. What did you think of the seed?
I don't know what to say, actually. Was that camera lock, right? That P?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah, for the keys. Yeah, I was so surprised. I was like trying to rush the Song of Time because I didn't have the hint of Nocturne.
Mhm.
So I like kind of rushed whatever was there, and then I got like because I was thinking that the piece was going to be in Child Spirit for some reason, but it wasn't there.
Oh, they gave you a big chest though.
Oh yeah, the big chest.
Yeah, you know.
Do you feel nervous when you're one Triforce piece away and you see a big chest that you think this could be the piece, but then it's not?
Like from half an hour, yeah.
It's brutal.
Yeah, it was like when I enter fire, I was like probably sure Full Flush did fire, but I saw that why is why isn't he done yet?
Yeah,
What
yeah.
what is going on?
feel you. I feel you, yeah.
All right. Well, I don't want to keep this interview going on too long because we still have to do the tournament announcement. But I'll ask you for final thoughts, maybe Fluflush, if you have anything you would like to say before we move on.
So, of course, I have to thank everyone here in the chat for the organization of the showcase. Elagatua for the invention of the concept, which is very cool. Yeah, and your teammate Cohesion, yeah, who gives you a lot of support. So without him, I think this cannot happen too. Thank you to Zebra Gauntlets, of course, to allow this showcase to display on Twitch. And of course, Fabio for being my opponent tonight. So I hope you all enjoy in chat and so on. And we're very looking forward to the tournament. It will be exciting. So I don't doubt about this at all. So yeah, just let's see and have fun.
All right. And Fabio, anything you would like to add?
Well, one thing before I say something. Did you guys flush all the 5 foolish?
Yeah.
I got Water, Fortress, Shadow, and Jabu.
Mm.
So I see Foolish, or sorry, not Foolish. What am I talking about? Fortress. I'm not sure.
It's here. I got the foolish hints. It's Wasteland, Jabu, Water, Fortress, Shadow.
Wait, Wasteland, of course. Yeah, I was forgetting.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
This
Okay,
was
so
one duplicate was in the back castle. Back castle, I guess. Yes.
yeah. So well, GG to Flush, and I hope everyone had a good time watching the restream. You have no idea how nervous I was the last 30 minutes.
Yeah. That's what.
I have no idea.
This was a shared feeling, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So I
even
hope the tournament. I'm pretty hyped for the tournament. So I hope I play well, and everyone who is going to join, wish them good luck. And thank you to the Silver Gauntlets and all of the people in charge for the restream. And thank you, everyone. Had a good time, and that's it. That's all I had to say. Thank you very much.
All right. Thank you both for joining us. And now we are going to do the tournament announcement, which I know everybody has been waiting for. So we have designed this tournament with everybody's time in mind. But first of all, let's talk about when it starts. So we are going to have a live qualifier in 2 weeks on Saturday, June 18th at 3 o'clock Eastern time. And this is the normal Blitz weekly time. And it's just one live qualifier. However, if that time does not work for you, the entire week before the live qualifier, there's going to be an async option for the qualifier seed. And so there'll be a Google form that you can kind of fill out, and you can get access to the seed, and you play the seed right after that, and you submit your time as soon as you're done. And then after all the qualifiers are done, we'll figure out the ordering, and we will assign seeds to roughly the top 50% of the players. Qualifying is not about getting a spot in the tournament. Excuse me. If you participate in the qualifier and you find at least one Triforce piece, then you will get a spot in the tournament. So nobody's going to be eliminated based on the results of just one seed. It's purely just for seeding for the initial round of the tournament. And so, yeah, so just that one qualifier. And then the tournament itself is 2 phases. There's going to be an opening round, which is just a single best of 3 match against one other opponent. And then the winners and losers of that opening round will be placed into separate single elimination brackets. And one thing that's unique about Triforce Blitz tournaments, because the seed times are so short compared to other seed types, we can actually have all of our matches be best of 3. So every single head-to-head match is going to be a best of 3. There's no best of 1s anywhere. So hopefully that'll reduce a little bit of the variance that can sometimes happen if you play a best of 1 and you get a really weird seed or something really bad happens. It's going to take more than one seed to knock you out. So we can go to the next image. So the next one should be talking about the qualifiers. And just to reiterate for the qualifiers.
Hell no, hasn't changed the...
Yeah, I know it hasn't changed, but I've got it memorized.
Okay, if you got it memorized.
I'm channeling my inner Kingdom Hearts Axel. Got it memorized. Anyway. So, yeah, live qualifier in 2 weeks. You can't do both the live qualifier and the async qualifier because they're the same seed, so it wouldn't make a lot of sense. And for the qualifiers, you don't need to worry if you're maybe a less experienced player and you're worried about finding one piece before the time limit. That's actually not going to be a factor for the qualifier. If you haven't found any pieces, you are welcome to actually go beyond the normal 2-hour time limit until you find one. So the bottom line is, if you want to play in the Triforce Blitz tournament to get a spot in one of the brackets, it's totally up to you, and it's not going to be based on your experience with the settings or anything like that. As long as you're willing to play long enough to get one piece in a qualifier seed, then you'll get a spot.
Nice.
Yeah. Okay, so let's move on to talking about the opening round. So that's kind of the next phase. And after the qualifiers are done, we'll have some seeds that are some seedings that are generated from that, and we'll come up with pairings. And so this opening round is a single best of 3 match between one seeded player and one unseeded player. So if you do well in the qualifiers, then you're likely to have an easier time in this opening round match. And depending on how many people we have, it's possible that some people may need to play an extra best of 3 in the opening round. This we'll kind of get to that later. It depends on how many people sign up and if there's an even number of players and things like that. But regardless of the results in the opening round, all players will be entered into a bracket. There will be a main bracket and then what we're calling the Wanderer bracket. So we'll have the main bracket, which will probably end up being some of the more experienced players, but we'll also have a Wanderer bracket for people that just want to participate in a tournament and want to get that tournament experience, even though they may be like relatively new to Rando or not as familiar with the settings or things like that, there will be a separate bracket that you'll have a chance to participate in and get the full tournament experience. So we saw a question in the Discord. So this tournament will be organized through the TSG Discord. So stay tuned to TSG for additional announcements regarding, especially the async qualifier. When in a week we will be posting the Google form to be able to get access to that qualifier seed, and that'll all be happening in the TSG Discord. So that's the place to join and just keep an eye out for all those announcements. And finally, the main brackets, or the single elimination brackets. We know that there's a lot of other tournaments going on at the same time, and we want to be respectful of people's time. So we have single elimination brackets, but like we mentioned earlier, all of the individual matches are best of 3. So progressing through the tournament shouldn't take an outrageously long amount of time because there's no double elimination or anything like that. And the idea is to play one best of 3 per week. Unless if there's like a scheduling issue, like we can work on it on a case-by-case basis. But I think it's pretty reasonable to ask people to play like 2 or 3 Blitz seeds in a week until you end up getting knocked out or end up winning. And because it's single elimination, there won't be too many rounds. So I don't think that this should cause too many commitment issues. I know some of the other tournaments have a lot of like pool play or like heavier time commitment, but at Blitz, we're all about having shorter seeds and high quality of life and not trying to take up too much of your time and kind of cutting out all the extra stuff. And so I feel like this tournament design is very fair in terms of being like competitively balanced and being best of 3 so that luck is not as big of a factor as maybe some of the other tournament designs, but then also not taking too long and dragging out for like 6 months and overlapping with other tournaments. So if anybody has any other questions about the tournament, feel free to drop them in chat now. But otherwise, I think that's pretty much all that we wanted to announce. Stay tuned for more announcements about the async qualifier and the live qualifier in the Silver Gauntlets Discord. And if you want a place to learn Triforce Blitz and practice the settings and to compare your times against other players, there are asyncs in the ZSR Standards Asyncs channel. That is a great place to start. And all of the asyncs for June are updated with the current tournament settings. So that's a really good place to get started. And Blitz is super, super fun. And if it's ever not fun, then it's only 2 hours. So that's what I tell everybody. If it sucks, it'll be over fast. So definitely give it a shot if you think that this is interesting for you. I believe this is the only settings that are reliably under 2 hours. If you want to play a 5 hour Zooter seed, you've got a lot of options. But if you want to play a 2 hour seed, then you've got a lot less. And I think Triforce Blitz is a really great option for that. So with that being said, I think I might turn it over. Any final thoughts from the rest of the crew before I hang it up?
Chuckles, what other Blitz tournament is there? Is it an actual, like, just a normal Blitz, like, super go fast tournament?
Yeah, so that Blitz tournament is organized by Melrose, I believe. And so the idea of that Blitz tournament is that it's Blitz because the entire tournament takes place in 1 week. So if you are wanting to participate in both the Triforce Blitz tournament and the Blitz tournament, that's not really going to be a problem because the Triforce Blitz qualifier is in the afternoon and the Blitz tournament qualifier is in the morning. But also, if you have a scheduling conflict, you're welcome to do the async version of the qualifier literally any time in the week before the live qualifier at whatever time is convenient for you. So feel free to take advantage of that because all the times are going to be compared against each other anyway. So there's no advantage to playing in the live qualifier or the async. The live qualifier just has that live feel, and I'm sure we'll end up restreaming it as well. So that's kind of the main draw of the live qualifier.
Yeah, speaking of restreams, it's a tournament, guys. We're gonna need volunteers here at the Silver Gauntlets. So if you happen just to have some spare time, as we've shown, these seeds don't take long. If you just have 2 hours out of your day, we would greatly appreciate if you could come and track and make these restreams happen. Thank you, Tobias.
Yeah, and even if you don't feel like you have a really commanding understanding of the logic or the Triforce Blitz specific things, I'm more than happy to co-commentate with people and kind of bounce questions back and forth and get people up to speed. So if you've commentated some of the other settings, don't feel like the newness and the weirdness of Triforce Blitz is a hurdle. We're definitely happy to have anybody.
It's just more quirky logic sometimes.
And you can just rush Ice Cavern, I guess, in this seed. Although maybe that wouldn't have worked, but just make sure you know what a big chest looks like.
or rush Shadow Temple.
Barren Shadow, yes.
Even if it's Barren, rush Shadow Temple. I got nothing else.
I got nothing.